Welcome everybody to Style Esports semifinals action here with the Shurima group, top group here between CoinFlippers and New England Storm Wolves Lightning. I'm Paul, pleased to be joined by Axeman87 back in the booth together. It's been way too long, man. Happy to be with you.
Yeah, it certainly has, Paul. What's up, guys? Axeman87. Yeah, we're back at it with our two favorite teams here. The defending champion CoinFlippers versus the top of the Shurima group, New England Storm Wolves Lightning. A newly formed team this season has been taking the league by storm, and no part of the league greater than the Shurima group here. So this should be one of the best series that our leagues can produce. Thank you for coming to watch this. This should be a really good time. Glad I got to share this cast with Paul. He's a very good caster, so it should be a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. We're already right into the action here in the drafting phase. So a lot of the bands here are pretty chalky. The Silas and Vigar are pretty powerful now across with the Cassio set. Caitlyn band out. But these first picks coming in Axeman, we're going to see a Jhin and Maokai paired up against an Ashe. So a lot of interesting picks coming out. The Ashe obviously super powerful right now, but cool to see a Jhin and Maokai join in the fray.
Yeah, definitely. These are big draft tools that the CoinFlippers will use. Charismatic has just an insane Maokai. Can really kind of exceed the limits of what a champion normally does for a competitive team. Just kind of hold the lane and be a late game tank. Charismatic will take it to you. He'll solo kill you in the early game. And I know they just locked in Renekton, but I really still feel that this is a pretty killer pick here for the CoinFlippers. Maokai is still an insane top laner, so this should be really good. Yeah, Jin's pretty good. Ezreal was up, but you know, I don't think I don't think they've lost too much with the Jhin pick here. So that is definitely something I'd be interesting to see. I feel like Ezreal probably in a different league than Jhin, but those are probably the top four ADCs, I would say. Caitlyn, Ashe, Jhin, Ezreal.
Yeah, and so they're going to finish off with the Olaf pick, and if Yuumi doesn't get banned, I'd love to see the pairing there. I mean, you could get some really cool plays off a Yuumi, Jhin, Olaf combination. We'll see what they put together there. And meanwhile, that's Sejuani, so I'm going to be looking out for Marios and Charismatic, going to put some smack in the top lane there, Axeman.
Yeah, and if you're asking yourself why Kha'Zix wasn't locked in there, Zeron's actually been replaced. You mentioned with Marios here, so I don't think we've seen Marios on stream. I haven't broadcasted him anyway, so I'm about to find out just how good this new jungler really is. But I gotta say, he's already caught my attention with the pick there, Paul. No bias there, but the Xerath banned away, the Galio taken away as well, as both teams look for a mid laner.
Yeah, and I got to talk to Marios quick before we jumped on the cast, and he says as long as we keep the team together and make strong macro decisions that help them snowball, they're going to get some victories going. So really interesting because, I mean, and you get such varied answers when you ask people like, hey, what can we expect tonight? As Cho'Gath is ultimately the last ban here, but really prioritizing those macro plays. So I'm going to be watching to see, how Marios and Charismatic look to set up their set plays or the 8-minute, 12-minute, 16-minute marks, see how they play around those Heralds and Drakes. And if they can get those, I really think the Stormwolves Lightning are going to be really happy with, where they're situated.
Yeah, absolutely. And objective control is going to be a huge factor this series here tonight. Both teams and most competitive teams really love to play around those objectives, make sure they're taking them down. It's one of the biggest reasons we see something like a 2-0 or just a hard stop in a series. Just one team is focusing on objectives, the other isn't. I'm not expecting that here tonight, Paul. It should be a knockdown, drag-out fight over these dragons. I don't imagine any inch of objective control will be taken lightly by either side here tonight. Zoe and Tom Kench getting locked in for the Stormwolves Lightning. Ooh. These are a couple of interesting picks. I feel like Zoe is probably pretty solid. We don't see her as much in competitive. There's just a lot of utility mid laners that bring a lot to a comp that you can put in there. Orianna's a great example. Cassiopeia as well, which is the carry potential. But we are going to see Zoe here tonight, and Tom Kench as well. I mean, I think the biggest criticism of Tom Kench is that, yeah, there's utility in this champion, but there's just more utility elsewhere.
And then the last pick here is going to be that Taric. So I'm going to be curious to see that Taric pairing here with the Olaf, seeing, because the combination of ultimates, right, just an unstoppable with the invulnerability is just going to potentially be so lethal. So a lot of advantages for the coin flippers. And just to highlight, and I believe you mentioned at the top here, Axman, coin flippers here are the 2-time defending champs. They found themselves in a similar situation last season as the 4th seed. They were able to upset the 1 seed then, and able to pull off, ultimately the win. And now coming back at it again, seeing, like you said, these objectives are going to be so tightly contested, especially early on. And with a best of 3, you can't afford to drop game number 1. Trying to come back and win 2 in a row with something this close, it's going to be real friggin' difficult.
Yeah, and something I always like about the coin flippers is the buff they get in the playoffs. Regular season, they're quite literally coin flipping their way through the league. I mean, we can take a look at their record right now. First series of the league, lost to Lightning. Second, win to TDM. Third, lost to Juice World. Fourth, win on Anime Avengers. It's a sea of like red, green, back and forth, win and loss. But I tell you, once this team gets into the playoffs, it is an entirely different ball game, Paul. This team just starts to pop off. I don't know what they turn on inside themselves, but it wins championships.
Yeah, that's and I had a chance, and we were looking through their OPGGs obviously before we came on the air too. And at the end of the day, all things said and done, both teams are going to be fairly equal, right? So for anyone just tuning in, maybe for the first time this style esports, we're hovering in high plat, low diamond, roughly, and those sorts of areas here. And for me, I think what's going to be really fascinating, especially about these particular matchups that we're looking at, I want to see how this mid lane plays out, because you touched on the X-Men. We don't necessarily see Zoe a ton. We see the Orianna quite a bit more. And if one of those mid laners gets the chance to scale up and, put a reckoning on this game, things can go out of hand and really push in that team's favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are ways in which both these mid laners just kind of hard counter the enemy team comp, right? I think one of the biggest things Coin Flippers brings to the table is that I think it's called Cosmic Radiance, those untargetable amount of time that Tarek will give you. That synergy with Olaf is going to be huge. Not if if the Olaf eats a sleepy trouble bubble or something and goes to sleep right after his ult is finished going there. So that's going to be really rough. And it's just also a lot of burst damage, and that is really countering the healing that the coin flippers want to have as well with the Maokai, with the Olaf.
Yeah, and honestly, and I think my favorite thing too about getting to watch teams in playoffs, and you mentioned it, you get teams like coin flippers that, maybe some nights they're just not having, they're up for a little bit more of a fun game, because these seasons can get long, they get grueling, and teams, honestly, their focus wavers. I mean, they're players just like anybody else. They have better days at the office than others. But when it comes time for this, we really see the best in teams come out. And I think that's going to give us an incredible match tonight.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a ton of fun. I think, something we might want to talk about is maybe the elephant in the room here. We kind of touched on it a little bit already. I mentioned Tahm Kench. The biggest criticism being that there's a lot of utility in Tahm Kench, but there's just more in other supports. I think this is going to be a huge weakness for the Stormwolves. I don't know if the Tahm Kench Ashe bot lane is necessarily a stellar bot lane right now. I think Ashe is really good. That's pretty much undisputable. But as far as supports that synergize with Ashe go, I don't know how far up the list Tahm Kench is for me. So this could be a weakness for them.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I've definitely never seen the pairing. So part of me, my defense of it, Axman, let me give you my defense of it, and it's not strong, is that at least it halts the curtain call. Like, you're just not cutting through the beefy boy. But that's about it, to your point, right? Like, Zoe's got her ways to get out in the first place. Renekton's going all in. You're not saving him. So I don't even know necessarily where you're finding the Tahm Kench utility. So to your point, if they fall behind and he doesn't get beefed up the way that they're expecting him maybe to be, that like he starts off with a stat line of like 004, gets a first item before Tarek and just is able to stand there as the front line into curtain call, beautiful. That's probably the plan they want. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, that might be a really difficult pairing for Christian. He might not be able to stand up and take some trades with Recycle Bin.
Definitely. And if we're talking about just the cast of characters that is difficult for Jhin to kill in the support role, that have a just push button, get shield type deal. All of that very much counters Jhin. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Tahm Kench is a tanky boy, and the best thing to counter a Jhin is a big health bar, and that's what Tahm Kench brings to the table. He has just the push button, get shield, probably one of the biggest ones in the games. My thing is, there are other champions that do that and do it better. Nautilus was up, Leona was up. So many of these champions that are difficult for Jhin to kill, but are also like top tier supports, right? Or at least higher up the chain than Tahm Kench. So why not go for something like that? That said, I mean, there's lots of room for I don't know, like outplay potential with Tahm Kench. And like we said, there's a lot of utility in this champion. So I would like to be pleasantly surprised for sure. But just before we get through the remainder of the spectator delay, we are going to cut to a little bit of a break here just to get our ducks in a row before game one. Don't touch that dial. You're watching Style Esports League on the Style Esports channel. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Rift for Game 1 here between CoinFlippers and New England Storm Wolves Lightning. I'm Paul, once again joined by Axeman87 here, and we are excited to get these semifinals started.
Yeah, we sure are, Paul. What's up, guys? Saxon87, and we are underway into game one. It's going to be a loose 5-point, folks, but we got there in the end. Cabby showing up a little bit late to the party, but now everybody is in position and ready to stand here for the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, I would say I don't think we're going to see any real shenanigans with these comps. I think things are going to be pretty chalky to start, but I do want to see, for me at least in this early game, Max, man, I'm curious to your thoughts. I want to see how Mario sets himself up. Olaf, obviously, crazy farming speed. See if he can pull off a level 3 gank. And ultimately, I want to see how they can put Yoshi ahead. But we're going to be in for a lot of interesting plays, I think, across the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to mention one of the biggest counters to Olaf is just building raw health. Of course, a lot of the damage coming from Olaf and the burst damage, anyway, is coming from both Undertow from the axes and also from his E, which does true damage. Sejuani, with that passive, gets passive resistances. So you're going to see a lot of Sejuani builds that are just building pure health. You'll see Cinderhulk into Warmogs even just straight up with no resistances build at all. And that's an obstacle that Marios might have to overcome, is that this Sejuani is just not something he can kill. There's just too much health. I don't think Sejuani can 1v1 Olaf, but it was definitely not an easy champion to track down or kill. You could definitely just hop over a wall real quick with Sejuani and definitely waste a lot of Olaf's time. So it's an interesting matchup. It could go either way. I think Sejuani is pretty crazy objective control with the hop over the wall. You really have to make sure you have a ward on the objectives at all times, or she will absolutely steal it out from under you.
Absolutely. And top side, obviously, Rezo's just going to push this thing in on Charismatic. He's going to have that early control. Renekton's just so stupid strong in this early game. So Charismatic can have his hands full, but obviously has that scaling potential a little bit later on with the Maokai. And Renekton going to ward into the jungle here. So they're going to keep track of Marios as he's moving around the map. So that's going to hamper that level 3 gank we were talking about just a little bit ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to give Ryzel free license to keep pushing in Charismatic over and over, at least for the next while or so until that tracking kind of fades away. But yeah, level 3 ganks going to be a lot more difficult for Marios, but a lot easier here for Handholder. Unfortunately, Handholder's top player has done them no favors by pushing the Maokai in, so it is going to be a disengage from that idea there. Handholder kind of back in the river, waiting for the scuttle to spawn here. And this is another interesting thing about Sejuani, is that the clear speed isn't all that much slower than Olaf's. Now, you might want to point out Olaf cleared every single one of the camps in the jungle, and that's the only reason he missed scuttle there. But Sejuani has a pretty good clear speed, so she shouldn't fall too far behind. We'll see if Marios can catch Handholder here. I have my doubts, Paul.
Yeah, he's going to step up and look for something here. Interestingly enough, going to approach the jungle. And so Rezo's going to step right up in the Charismatic.
3 in a row.
Oh, my God. So everyone's moving over here. So Steven A, they're going to take on a mid lane battle in the jungle, but Mario still hanging out. Lanciax going to take him under tower and chunk him down a little bit here. Top laner is going to return, and everybody just kind of letting each other know, yeah, I'm here to press the buttons on the keyboard, too. We're going to spar when we have to, but no real action coming from it. Steven A, they're going to get chunked down, though, under tower, and that'll at least give Mario some pressure here in the river.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Mario. He can't miss 3 acts in a row. That's just not how you have success on Olaf. But it is good information, I think, for both sides.
Steven A, look for the kill on Yoshi. Gonna flash in and finds first blood. Cheeky play, and Steven A had gotten chunked down, turns it around, and finds first kill.
Yeah, gets the damage down there. Yoshima, oh, here we go. Marios might be looking for something. Gonna back off instead and just kind of clear this wave. And this feels real good on any jungler, but more so even on Olaf, who just loves to get those CS numbers up. He's already 5 ahead of Sejuani, and he's ahead actually of most champions in the game right now, Paul. So Olaf's sitting pretty at the moment with some of that lane cheese.
Yeah, absolutely. And watching this bot side Sugar Free, just so much poke damage here. Gonna land the stun here from Recycle Bin. Here comes Handholder looking for the kill and lands it onto Cabby. Recycle Bin trying to get out and should be able to just fine. Has enough movement speed. Christian is low, so probably gonna farm and go back. But hot start here from the side of Storm was Lightning.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what you buy yourself with the early gen pick. Oh, it's going to be the gank here.
Mario's coming in. Rezo has to look for a way out. Has flash available. Has not burned it yet. Gonna fight it out. Try to get the heal. Is able to pull it off. Looking for a second kill too. Procs level 8. Big brain play. Dominus with the double. And a 4-0 star here. Axeman, what is happening, my dude?
That's just classic Renekton things right there. You stun one, you kill the other while the other one watches. It's brutal, but it's definitely what you want to see if you're a Renekton player. Gets the double kill here. Charismatic is wisely going to come back with the Bramble Vest. But yeah, I just don't think... I'm pretty sure Charismatic hadn't backed yet, which was a big issue for that fight. Marios was coming in with just... his Skirmisher Saber, and while that damage reduction helps not so much against a Renekton, there's just so much damage in the early game for that champion. So yeah, unfortunate 2v1 there. I really thought that he was going down. I mean, I guess the healing from Renekton is really what won him that fight. Super unfortunate, but definitely, for now at least, the king of early game burst damage.
Yeah, and man, the big brain for him to go in, and he hit level 6, I believe, like mid heal. So dude just got that last little bit to proc the Dominus and take things over. But no, Steven and are gonna face check the bush. Mario stepping up, does not have a ult available yet, so no Ragnarok, no problem. Yoshi gonna pick up the kill. Handholder though caught out between a rock and a hard place here. Now they're gonna try to turn it, finds a double kill though. Mario still does so much damage so quickly. Sugar Free and Christian gonna try to lay in some damage here, and Christian at least able to pick up something as we see trading topside, but that'll go 2 for 1 in favor of CoinFlippers. So they're finally getting some kills on the board.
Yeah, they are on the board, and it looks like Marios is going to be looking for this early dragon. This is going to help them out so much. There are a few champions that heal quite as much as Olaf in the early game, Maokai in that early laning phase as well. So this Ocean Dragon is going to make that sustain just that much more palpable for the New England Storm Wolves. It's going to be very difficult for them to deal with the CoinFlippers after Marios picks up this.
Yeah, and so they'll get first objective and at least keep the gold lead a little bit more to borrow your word again, palpable. As Dominus proc, Grasp going to go under tower. Ray's out going to get out just barely, but he gets killed by the minions. And so that'll be a trade on the top side, and Charismatic going to pick up the bounty gold as well. So he'll be happy with that exchange.
Yeah, definitely. Charismatic hitting a huge power spike here with the Bammy Cinder. This is going to make trading a lot easier for the Maokai as well. And along with the aforementioned Ocean Drake, I imagine this lane is about to take a turn for the worse for the Crocodile, but we will have to see as the game continues. Taking a look down the bot lane, Handholder walking over Vision. Kind of a doomed gank to begin with, but Cabby face checking anyway.
Yeah, Cabby's stepping up regardless. Going to get stunned up here. They're going to try to have so much damage, but let's see what they can do. Christian not level 6 yet, so no arrow available yet here, and so they'll back off. But at minimum, they're going to keep putting pressure on this bottom lane.
Yeah, I don't know if Cabby just didn't see the Sejuani down there, or maybe didn't care, but definitely should have cared. If that was the case, because it immediately has to flash out of that situation. Mario's trying to solo up the Rift Herald. That's not going to work.
Ooh, Rezo going to step up into the Ragnarok here. Rezo going to try to heal up through it and going to be in a little bit of trouble. Going to have to flash over the wall on the wrong side of the street. Now Steven Ader looking at the river, trying to stop, or at least put pressure on stopping Rift. Hasn't been able to do so here. Yoshi uses the shockwave, getting some damage. They're going to be able to land a Drowsy here, but slowly but surely, CoinFlippers coming back and picking up a Shelly.
Yeah, absolutely. Unmatched epic monsters in the graveyard so far. Marios has taken all of them. Handholder has taken not any, so pretty one-sided as far as the objective control goes. And the CS numbers, like we mentioned, are looking pretty good for Marios as well. So definitely jungling optimally. But we'll see where he drops this Rift Herald. I'm thinking, the best place is probably the mid lane. And I think one of the easier ganks for him right now is in that mid lane. Zoe Ness is not necessarily an easy gank by any means, but it's easier than Ashe, Tom Kench, and just a monster Renekton. So I'm thinking we'll see Mario's path mid in just a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he'd love an opportunity to get his mid laner ahead, and what really could end up being a pretty volatile matchup, right? Like if one of those mages gets strong, all lanes could be in trouble, and so might Charismatic. Here comes the grasp under the tower, gonna try to get them solo, able to find the first kill. Razo does not have flash to get out. He's gonna eat the last tower shot, and once again, Charismatic getting the better of an exchange, double kill on the top side. Meanwhile, bot side. Cosmic Radiant's going to lead a Ragnarok under the tower here. Sugar Free going to stopwatch, try to get out. Cabby going to take a couple tower shots. Christian looks to step up and ultimately not find anything. But that double kill topside bringing Charismatic back.
Yeah, bring him back in a big way. And it's going to be Rift Herald dropped on the bottom side of the map. This is going to create an interesting imbalance. Normally this would be a little bit more impactful if blue side jungler was, here we go.
Oh, curtain call coming out there saying, no, we're taking this tower at all costs. They're fired off. Tower's still getting chunked down. They still have a wave on their hands. Handholder going to step up, try to keep them off. And yeah, a little bit of a different kind of play there, Axeman. Not typical for bot side, and they still couldn't chunk that tower down.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen Valley's video on YouTube of Rift Herald and where you should drop it, how you should use it, all that good stuff, one of the big things she points out is that dropping a side lane can be a mistake because it can create an imbalance of power on the map that can occasionally lead some of your teammates to be much more alone on the map than they would otherwise appreciate being. So I don't think this is going to be a huge problem. I think Mario's has enough map control. And Charismatic is able to keep their teleport up enough that it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but we'll see if that comes into play. Once again, the tower also just didn't go down, so it's definitely not an issue yet.
Yeah, and the other part of that too, and just to echo your sentiment, right? Like if you're pushing up with Recycle Bin and Cabby, you really can't get much more of an immobile bot lane. So if they do push up too far, they're kind of SOL here. Axeman. And so part of that, and I'm sure they probably talked about that in that video too. Part of that's when you have such an immobile lane, you really have to play smart.
Yeah, another big thing as well is that you also have this bot lane with a champion in.
Oh my god!
Yeah, just Zoe things, man. That's half your health bar for eating 2 skill shots. But Mario's might be in trouble here.
Yeah, Mario's going to get stuck kind of in a 1-1 scenario here. Here comes Sugar Free, yoinking himself into the fight. Ragnarok proc here, Handholder stepping up. Stun not going to land from Jin. Charismatic has joined the fray as well, off the teleport, trying to work his way in. Shockwave not landing anything yet. Sugar Free still has that beefy boy shield. Christian has an opportunity to just try to chunk in a bit, and able to land the kill on Mario's. Charismatic might be next. Exhaust lands, Cosmic Radiance going to put on the drowsy, sleepy boy. He's going to back off, and here comes the Dominus Razel looking to get in there. Hasn't put out enough damage yet, but with all of that, they're continuing. Curtain call coming out, not able to land anything. Razel going to take the damage, but ultimately they're going to walk away with the dragon here, Axeman.
Yeah, and these health bars are just a pentakill waiting to happen. We'll see if the CoinFlippers have it in them to take that pentakill. It's not looking like it. They're going to back off after the dragon is taken. That's 1 dragon apiece, which is going to make this 1 late dragon soul here, as both sides are going to have to get 3 more before they look to that objective. It's going to be a mountain soul as well. So this is something either side could definitely look for to optimize their team comps. And you have a massive Maokai at the top lane who would love that shield and all those resistances. Sejuani and Tom Kench on the other side that would just love those as well, would make them basically unkillable. So that is something that I think will be highly contested. Not for a while, though. I think we're going to get the kind of the long road to the Dragon Soul there.
Yeah, we're going to get the long road back to a little bit more action here. The client's being a little bit buggy today, folks, so apologies in advance for that. I know there were issues a couple hours ago, depending on where you were. And then looks like we're still getting some of those issues now, but the action should be back with us in just a moment. Right on cue. Here we go again. But just to go back to that last fight for a second, Axe Man. So I thought it was really interesting too how New England Storm Wolves Lightning is doing a really good job of enabling Christian to step up and from in also preventing Recycle Bin from stepping up. Because you were right, they were like a couple of shots away from a legitimate pentakill, but they just kept Recycle Bin far enough away to make it out.
Yeah, and the zoning from this team is so scary, right? Between Enchanted Crystal Arrow and Glacial Prison, you do not want to get caught out of position by this team. It's
No.
fantastic as a pick comp. That's not necessarily how they're playing right now, but that's only because they don't have to. They're ahead at the moment, so and that will be something CoinFlippers will have to contend with if they do get ahead in this game. But for now, anyway, they're behind Mario's.
Ooh, Mario's going to have to deal with most of the team here, 3-on-1, but now they're caught on the wrong side of things. Going to have to pop the Bud. Razel, buddy, you're not looking too good over in the red buff pit here. Stevenator trying to help him out, at least give some poke here. Going to rally around with the rest of the team. Sleepy Trouble Bubble going to land here onto Cabby and instead fling back at Marios, and at least they'll able to get away with only one death. And just like that, our gold lead has dwindled down to nothing. We're all even, Steven.
Yeah, and a lot of that has been down to what the Maokai is doing in the side lane down there. Oh, here we
go.
go.
Shockwave gonna land. Stevenator destroyed, caught out by 4, and that's gonna give them priority in that river here. For a second, excuse me, I thought Rift Herald was up, but I believe I missed. Oh, it is. Excuse me, I'm like misreading the map. That'll give them the Rift Herald.
Ooh, yeah, charismatic. Ooh, yeah. I don't know if he gets away here. Oh, he might kill him.
Oh, the turn. Charismatic once again, taking the words out of our mouths, turning these fights. And just like that, another kill onto the Crocodile. And he's just not letting him play the video game anymore, Axeman. He's just telling them, look, I've had enough of your early game junk. It's time to take over.
Yeah, absolutely. Malachi has all the tools they need to at this point to be able to contend with those bruisers, with fighters like Renekton in protracted 1v1s. I mean, Charismatic and Malachi in general just absolutely dominates protracted fights, has so much healing with the passive, and also just very low cooldowns on most of their damaging abilities. So it can be very, very difficult to win a fight against a Malachi. And I guess that Ocean Dragon doesn't hurt either there. But yeah, in the end, Rizel, no longer can they 1v1 the tree. And it's going to be the solo kill over to Charismatic. That was something else. It's always crazy watching a Maokai do this to somebody. But Recycle Bin in the side lane, looking to just stack up more of a CS lead. But he is in danger, Paul.
Yeah, I don't think he has any idea Rizo's there. He's got the IE finished at least, and he does have Swifties. So, if he gets caught out, maybe he can get out here. Rizo going to show himself here as the wave pushes in. But right now, I mean, it's rare that I can look at a game at the 18-minute mark, at least recently, and it'd be like, oh, wow, either team really is starting to hit on what they want. We're seeing Stevenator here in the mid lane really starting to hurt. We're seeing Recycle Bin get farmed up with Charismatic winning that one-on-one on the top side. All of a sudden, both teams are lining things up the right way, and this third dragon, I think, is going to be very telling here.
Yeah, I think this third dragon absolutely will tell the story of this game. Drift Herald dropping the top lane is absolutely going to take one turn. Now, whether or not they can get a second turret will be another story. I don't even know if they go for one here. We'll see. Like you mentioned, dragon up in 40 seconds. I'm not sure if Marios wants to spend too much time up in the top lane, but if they can get this turret, it'd definitely be worth it. Yeah,
they're going to take their chances. Mario said just that clear speed is so insane. Able to just rip through the farm and just get that Shelly on her way. And like you said, so we're going to be dealing with Mountain Soul. Obviously, giving Mountain Soul to a team with a Tom Kench and a Sejuani would be massive. But from the other side, letting Maokai and even Tarek and Olaf get a little beefier could be a long day at the office. So this one's going to be tightly contested for sure. You don't want to give this one for free.
It absolutely will be. Both sides pathing towards the dragon. It is just Rizel, and he has teleport to join his team. It's looking like Lightning aren't going to make it in time, though. Stevenator for the steal. Misses, but so
Yeah,
does
you're
Marios.
Yeah, just able to get that one for free. And honestly, I think that was probably the right move. They didn't force anything. They knew, hey, we're out of position. We're not going to get there. Rayzel going to try to trade things at least for one tower here. And Steven Nader will try to push in bot side. But ultimately, that is the second dragon going over to CoinFlippers.
Yeah, and you mentioned the CS dominance and the clear dominance from Marios as well. I mean, Marios had time to solo up the Rift Herald, walk top, drop it, take all of everything in the top lane all the way up to the base, walk down, take Dragon, and Sejuani didn't even get close to catching up in CS. It still is like a 20 CS lead over the Sejuani. So yeah, just absolutely insane numbers so far. The numbers don't always tell the whole story. Soon enough, I imagine Handholder will be completing this Warmogs, and that's going to be a game changer.
Oh no, Rayzel might have been caught out here. Going to proc the dominance, try to do something, but it's just too much damage, and the Ragnarok takes him over. Mario's getting his second kill of the game.
Yeah, and the charismatic fight with Rayzel was very close, but with charismatic and Marios there, a very one-sided fight in the 2v1. Rayzel not able to make it happen, but Sugar Free and Christian trying to get some of that CS in the mid lane. They've been behind most of the game, and it's been real difficult for this Ashe to pick up any items. That said, both sides are basically at the same position as far as items completed are. It's just that IE is a bit more expensive item, and BS Sword is a bit more expensive than the Agility Cloak, so Jhin is definitely still sitting pretty up there with the IE and the BF sword, but Christian is not too far behind. Obviously, they have the kills, the assists, and everything. We take a look at individual gold between the two. It's just about 700 over to Recycle Bin, so just a little bit of a lead in the bot lane.
Yeah, if they make the mistake of letting him free farm, that Jhin can start hitting like a truck soon. I mean, that curtain call could get really, really powerful here. So they just have to be careful of not allowing that. And I mean, they really, other than Stevenator landing some really nice skill shots here, or Rayzel having a good fight, they have a hard time getting to him. And that Mountain and Ocean Drake, those definitely aren't making that job any easier. I'm personally terrified of a Jhin that's getting built up.
Yeah, definitely. So much burst damage coming through. Unfortunately for them, and really for most of the coin flippers, the Sejuani and Tom Kench have been itemizing just so well to deal with the coin flippers comp with their damage types. I mean, you had the Warmogs coming through for Sejuani on top of Cinderhawk. It's going to be so much health to cut through, even with things like force shots, like Olaf E's, the true damage coming through, the crits from Jhin. It's going to be difficult to cut through those health bars without sustained damage. So, that is definitely something that the Lightning have done well here, at least, is that itemization, and also just drafting these champions to begin with, because you can't just build Warmog's first item on any champion here, Paul.
Dude, I wish you could. I just wish you could like slap Warmogs on any character and just say, you know what, I'm done for the day. I think this is a good plan. You know, I think this is a winning strategy. As Stevenator are going to just toy with Charismatic a little bit. Man, he's beefy. Not doing jack to him.
Yeah, that is a thick tree, and it is difficult to cut through that trunk, and especially with Olaf taken away from you there. It's all jokes, folks. We have the Baron spawned here now as we approach 23 minutes, and both sides are looking to be in a position where they could look for this objective. I think coin flippers might have a harder time dealing with it. I'm not 100% that the Jhin will be able to contend with the damage here. Maybe a couple more minutes, but that Ashe is definitely ready with the Bork, with the crit item there too. I don't think Lightning have the map control to do Baron, but they might have the damage, so we'll see what happens. Both sides pathing to the bottom side of the map as the dragon spawns in just 40 seconds.
Yeah, we might have an interesting game of cat and mouse, right? If one team says, I want to go Baron, the other's going to decide either they can fight that or they could trade it for Dragon, depending on which side you're on. Obviously, more advantageous if your coin flippers try to force soul point if you really can't get into the pit. But you're absolutely right. Neither team's really going to rip through this Baron. Ragnarok proc into an exhaust here from Mario, so he's going to use that right out of the gate here, sugar-free. Going to be chunked down, and Recycle Bin again take some damage as well over the wall from Stevenator. Cosmic Radiance burned up off the back end of that little skirmish here. Handholder going into Mario, so looking for some action. Gonna dodge the stun here. Dodge the second stun as well, but here comes the grass from Charismatic, and here comes the curtain call. Gonna be looking for something, and Mario finds the first kill here onto the Tom Catch. Razel gonna go down next. Handholder caught out. Gonna try to go over the butt, has to flash away. Is Christian. Another flash from Handholder going back the other way. And just like that, CoinFlippers is gonna pick up their third dragon. Unless Stevenator pulls something off, not quite. And Handholder on the run.
Well, he was on the run. And it is going to be a flash there from Recycled in on the back end of the fight to last hit Handholder there. That was either a fourth shot or a crit, but whatever it was, that was a fat auto for sure. Handholder completed Warmogs there, but yeah, just not enough at the end of the day. I guess you could say they're the last on their team to survive, but not quite what you're looking for from your tank there. That's pretty much failure at that point. You're just the last one standing is all you've gotten for your tank stats, but it is Razel here. We already know that they can't really 1v1 this Maokai, but they can bounce waves back to him, and that is what Renekton is going to be doing pretty much for the rest of this game, unless they're teleporting into a team fight. Both sides should be looking to play around the top side of the map. There's not a whole lot of vision, at least not blue vision up there on the top side, so I'm going to need the Lightning to make a little bit of an effort. Even as I say that, they are dropping lots of vision up there. So we might see a fight break out over vision, actually, as CoinFlippers move in to sweep some of it up. But there's just not a whole lot of blue bodies up here, Paul.
No, and what's interesting at this point, right, and we kind of talked about it earlier, the idea that this Tom Kench really might be sort of a liability here as they're starting up the Baron. And just they haven't gotten that value, right? Like it was supposed to be this big tank, but Recycle Pit's just able to rip through them. Has just so much damage already. 2 full items built. And it hits like a truck here. So they're going to try to look at the pit here. Stun Ragnarok's going to ultimately finish the Baron here. And that's going to be a huge boost for them as they want to turn the siege.
Yeah, and Mario's trying to run away. Should be good here. And we talked about the ways the Lightning comp really counters the CoinFlippers comp. Oh, here we go. Drowsy, Ragnarok's up, so he's going to stand there. Yeah, he still should be pretty fine, man. That is a tanky Olaf. He has a lot of resistances. I admire the build there. It's a very disciplined build for an ahead Olaf to be building. But action breaking out all over the map here.
Oh, that's a tanky tree too, and he's gonna be able to try to put together something. But here comes once again the curtain call here. Not gonna be able to finish anybody off, but able to chunk down Christian with that final hit there. And the team's gonna be able to push up in siege with a pretty significant health advantage. Though Stevenator gonna land Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but not anything off of that. Mario's looking to step up. But again, just able to keep these lanes pushed in and putting the pressure ultimately on the next towers.
Yeah, definitely. And what I was saying before the fights broke out is that one way CoinFlippers comp really counters Lightning is that they have a lot of resistance to things like CC. Maokai is pretty much resistant to CC because it doesn't matter how long he stands in a place. As long as he's in the front line, that's where he wanted to be anyway. And you're probably not going to kill him no matter how long you have him stand still. Obviously, Olaf has Ragnarok. Cabby brings those, I think it's called untargetable. Untargetable?
Yeah.
The gold thing. Brings that. Oh, Stevenator is just gone.
Wow.
Where did they go? Oh, man. Yeah, we talked about burst damage from CoinFlippers. That was not
I blinked and I missed it. I was just like, he was there, and then he just wasn't. And I was like, oh, okay. No,
I assumed they had ulted somewhere and that they were about to come back, and then they just didn't.
That was
here we go.
Disgusting. And here comes the action here. Cosmic Radiance coming down. They're just going to move it for free here. Yoshi going to take down Handholder. Cabby going to be taking out Sugar Free next. Gets the kill. Double kill coming in for Yoshi. So powerful. It's charismatic. And with that, folks, I believe they're going to be able to take game number 1, or at minimum put a serious dent in the base.
Yeah, and it might be close here, but I'm pretty sure the CoinFlippers can pull it off. They got a lot of physical damage. I
Wow,
think they have it.
deletion. Yeah, they're gonna end up taking things away here, and my God, Recycle Bin just with the deletion here of Stevenator and a commanding performance by the Coin Flippers, and they're looking to repeat history once again. Axeman coming up and taking game one off the #1 seed.
Yeah, what a fantastic game. It was by no means a one-sided game, not until the very end there when Coin Flippers really started to pull ahead. But boy, at the start of this game, it really looked like Coin Flippers would be on the back foot, and that is how they started on the back foot. But they managed to turn it around and clinch game one here of the series.
Yeah, it was so close throughout, but then yeah, all of a sudden they flipped the switch, they flipped the coin, and everything came up aces for them. But with that, we're gonna step away for just a second here as we get the teams ready for game number 2. Keep in mind it is a best of 3. So can Coin Flippers take things away, or can Storm Wolves Lightning bring it back as the #1 seed to win the next 2? Find out soon. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the little delay there. We had some more league client issues. Come on, Rito, get it together. But we've got it together. I'm Paul. He's Axeman87. Welcome back to Draft 2.
Yep, we're here in the first draft of Game 2 here. And this is the Pro Draft, of course. That first ban for the CoinFlippers, you will note, is Cassiopeia. They just didn't manage to lock that in time. I don't think it locks anything for you automatically in the ban phase. I think it might pick things automatically for you. But, I guess it doesn't.
One of the guys learned that the hard way is what we're seeing in the client chat.
Yeah, I guess he thought, but it was not the way he thought it was. But what's up, guys? Axeman87, and I am ready to get back into this Shurima group showdown here. It's the New England Stormwolves Lightning up against CoinFlippers in Game 2. And Paul, what are you expecting for us in this game?
So we talked about this when we cut to break. I just want to see if this is the real deal from CoinFlippers, right? Like, they're coming as a number 4 seed once again. You can't sleep on them, dude. The execution last game was perfection here. And they're starting off with a super strong pick with the Caitlyn. And I have to be, I was going to say sitting here, but I'm standing up. So I'll stand up even more and say, I think they're the real deal, Axeman. I think they're here to put a hurting in, and they could really be making a run to make this a three-peat.
Yeah, I have to agree, Paul. I think CoinFlippers are definitely capable of going the distance. The question is there somebody out there in the Sal Esports League who can take them down? And tonight we'll find out if it's the Stormwolves Lightning. But as Game 2 gets underway, Lightning are on sudden death to lose the series. They have to win this game and the next one to take the semifinals and move forward in playoffs. We'll see if they can pull it off here. CoinFlippers already with some of the picks that have worked very, very well for them in this series. Maokai and Orianna, one of the picks that didn't really shine for them was the Jhin, and it's been replaced with Caitlyn. That's an upgrade for me, Paul. So CoinFlippers looking huge. Yeah, much scary already here in Game 2.
Yeah, and we even said that one dragon fight that went about even, but didn't necessarily go their way. Caitlyn would have done so much more just with the pure range and that Q distance that they couldn't have gotten out of Jhin. So I already like that a whole lot more. Just wrap up bans here. Galio, Olaf, they're not going to deal with again, and the Kha'Zix. I do like seeing, and I do like seeing Razel again on the Renekton. I just think it went a little bit sideways into the Maokai. But I don't think all was lost. And I think if they could play around him a little bit better early game, I think he's got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. There was certainly carry potential there. We didn't see the Sejuani come up top too much. A lot of that was due to Ryzel just kind of constantly pushing the wave up into Maokai, which had some positive effects for Lightning, but some negative ones as well. The biggest negative one was that you can't dive Maokai, at least not without him killing both of you.
Wait a second, you can't, Axeman? Oh my god, you can't dive
not without great difficulty. So I think Ryzel and Sejuani from Game 1, excuse me, I can't remember the player's name, but they found that out the hard way. That was rough to watch, watching them both die under turret. Yeah, if you want to gank a Maokai, it's possible. This is a slow champion, an immobile one, technically. But what you have to keep in mind is that you need a lot of time and a lot of distance from their turret to be able to kill them, because it's just so tanky and heals so much, has so much sustain. You got to give yourself that distance. So pushing them up under turret over and over again is not a great way to win lane against Maokai. To be honest, in a lot of ways, Paul, this seems kind of like the salty run back. I agree that the Renekton can have success in this top lane. Whether or not it's worth picking again in the series is kind of shaky to my mind. I feel like at this rate, you try something else instead of just kind of running it back here. But they are going to be trying this time with the Gragas jungle, so that might make the difference for them.
Yeah, I like the versatility you're going to get with Gragas. And just to wrap up the other picks here, we're going to see a Lucian, and I'm not going to call it yet. I want to see where they pick to make sure it's a Lucian mid. Like, I just want to make sure we know where everything is, because it's possible they do something kind of screwy here as far as lane assignments go. So I just want to be sure of a couple of things. Like, you could technically send Lucian top and Renekton mid. I doubt they're going to do that, but I've definitely said worse. But I will say, I think the pick that I'm most intrigued and probably happiest to see is that Lulu, right? Because ultimately, if you have a Caitlyn, you're going to want to just stand back and kite. And who's going to try to challenge that Caitlyn? Probably a Renekton. So you just polymorph them, done, boop, taken care of, and Caitlyn can just sit back and have fun. So I think CoinFlippers really, with a really smart pick in the way they play, is going to lend itself perfectly to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Stormwolves Lightning also picking up what I would call a better support, but a support that's still kind of in that same level that Tom Kench is in. Kind of like there's just better supports right now. I like Zyra a little bit more. I feel like Zyra synergizes very well with Senna, where Tom Kench might have left something to be desired with the Ashe. What Zyra and Senna bring to the table is just a lot of early game harass, a lot of poke, and a lot of kill pressure as well, right? Obviously, this is a Caitlyn Lulu. This is a long-ranged champion, a very, very good long-range champion, by the way. This is probably the best ADC in the game right now, with an Enchanter, probably the best Enchanter in the game right now at their side. So this is not going to be a pushover by any means, but I like the Senna Zyra lane. I think it's pretty strong.
I do too, and honestly, I got distracted here. Lucian is going to the mid lane just to confirm that away. So that's all squared away. We talked about this too. I like the way that CoinFlippers just play the map so well as a group. So a lot of times, especially at the pro level, but especially as we get into like plat diamond elos and lower, it's really common for teams to just fall into like, let me stay on my layman farm, and then you do like these little like trio roams. But it seemed like every time we looked up, CoinFlippers had 4 people in a given spot. Like they just always work together. And this team does so much as a group. I mean, between the Shockwave and Kindred's ultimate and having Lulu available to polymorph, like they're just going to do so much into Maokai's grasp that for me, I think we're going to need to see some really special individual laning phases to try to put Stormwolves Lightning ahead, because they're going to have such a hard time competing with these team fights.
Absolutely. Unfortunately for Stormwolves Lightning, we've seen that already in the series. Game 1 saw some pretty good lane performances from Lightning. Renekton in the top side, obviously taking that top lane by storm in the early game, picking up an easy double in the first few minutes of that lane. It's a little bit more difficult to say that about the rest of the lanes. I believe the Zoe had picked up a kill or two. Mostly the Ashe and TK was pretty downhill from the start, but there was some lights at the ends of the tunnels for Lightning. They just weren't able to capitalize on them at the end of the day. So yeah, if we're looking for early game or laning phase dominance from Lightning in individual performances, that's certainly something they're capable of. Now, what I don't particularly like about this Lucian Orianna lane or the matchup is that Lucian doesn't have a ton of range to work with. He has a solid effective range for an all-in, but if you're just trying to farm, if you're just trying to scale up, or even take CS or like last hit a tank or a cannon minion, excuse me, that's very difficult into Orianna, who has just massive range in lane. So I'm wondering if this is the right pick for the job. My initial response would be probably not. Now, what I will say about the Lucian pick is that it's fairly solid in the early game, and that is when Orianna is at their most vulnerable. So we'll see if Stevenator can capitalize on that weakness in the early game.
And really, Stevenator, if we had to pick one, was probably one of the bright spots in that last game here, for the side of Stormwolves Lightning. I mean, the poke damage was just absolutely disgusting from the Zoe. And though the rest of the team wasn't able to really rally around that or take advantage of just these chunks down to half health, Stevenator, generally speaking, really had a positive game. I saw in the client between games, he was complaining. I use the word complaining loosely, but he was remarking at least that, he was playing with a high ping at times. He's like, maybe picking Zoe wasn't the best option. So I think maybe even part of this Lucian pick too here, Axeman, is the idea that like you can point and click and maybe get a little bit of help that way. So at minimum, maybe that'll help him out and give him a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a little bit more sustained damage than Stevenator had on Zoe. So hopefully that'll help them out a little bit. Hopefully that ping is even now for them a little bit as well, as it would be a shame for them to lose this mid lane over some ping issues. You always hate to see that, but We don't see Senna and Lucian in the same comp too often, at least not unless they're both bot lane and definitely trolling, because that is a terrible lane, Paul. That is just not good at all. But this mid lane Lucian with the bot lane Senna might be something that could have some potential here. We'll have to see as we move forward. Like I already mentioned, love the Senna Zyra lane. I think Gragas is a fantastic jungler right now. That might be a hot take, I guess. Obviously, we've seen Ryzel have a good performance over Renekton, so hopefully we'll see Lightning make a comeback here and we can go to Game 3. But before we get into Game 2 and finish the last of our spectator delay, we are going to cut to a little bit of a break here. With that, don't touch that dial. This is the Style Esports League on the Style Esports channel. I'm Max87. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, to the semifinals action here in the Shurima group. We've got CoinFlippers going up against New England Storm, Wolves, Lightning. CoinFlippers took game one. Can they finish off the series? I'm Paul. He's Axeman87. We're happy to be back on the Rift with you.
Yeah, we certainly are, and it's no 5-point here for the New England Storm Wolves. They are out for blood as they have quite the competent level one. It's going to be Recycle Bin.
Oh, Recycle Bin caught out just for now, at least. Still has Flash Mode, going to get chunked down. And First Blood going to quickly goes on to Razel. Didn't even burn Flash. He knew his fate.
Yep, First Blood here going down to Razel, like you said. That's pretty dangerous, right? You don't want to give that early gold away to the Croc. He's going to be walking to the lane with an extra longsword here. That is rough, Paul. I imagine Charismatic is saying, "Really? You gave it to Renekton? Come on."
Anybody else, like you couldn't flash into him, like you couldn't. Yeah. Oh, that's gonna suck, right? Like, I mean, we saw in the last game too. Razel really early on gonna just put in a whole lot of damage, and the extra longsword not gonna make that any easier there. And actually, he bought another potion too, I believe. So, geez, so that's not going to be a fun lane to start out here. So it sets things behind. It really sets the stage for this game number 2, right? So coming into this, CoinFlippers the number 4 seed going up against the number 1 seed. And we've talked about before, and we will continue to talk about, they flipped the switch on in playoffs as we see the first gank in the game from Marios. But this little advantage certainly going to help quell them off as this is at match point.
Yeah, it certainly is. Lots of damage going down to Stevenator there, who might have been looking to zone Marios out of his jungle, but doesn't quite have the pressure to be able to do that. He's going to run back into lane and just kind of hope for the best. Meanwhile, up in the top side, Razel hasn't caused too many problems for Charismatic just yet, but the lane hasn't been on for that long, so I'm sure we'll have some developments, in just a little bit here as the fight breaks down the bot lane. Just some trades, actually. Couple of skill shots traded there, so nothing too crazy. First dragon of the game is eventually going to be a cloud dragon, so not necessarily the best first dragon, probably the worst actually.
Yeah, not going to offer any utility early on, but just to make an observation topside, and you had talked about this a bunch on the last game, Axeman, as trading continues bot side. You know, Razel just pushed in that top lane so early and so often that there was absolutely no gank potential. This time, playing that lane a lot more slowly, even with the advantage, and maybe this would have been the time you want to see him go aggro, but just going to keep the lane open and maybe hope for Handholder to make his way up. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that, but definitely playing the wave differently.
Yeah, absolutely. Last hitting these minions here, using his ability sparingly, only to trade with Charismatic. This is how you play Renekton, but Yoshi Miner taking so much damage.
The range there. Oh, Razel, though, finally going to go in for that first exchange. And just every time he steps up, he's going to be able to take a quarter of health. And here comes Handholder moving on to Cabby here. Sugar Free going to be chunked down. Recycle Bin just going to chase after him. Christian going to have to turn back and say, wait, hold on a second here. Sugar Free going to work back. Handholder now the one on the run here. Recycle Bin just does so much damage from downtown. Christian going to land the slow, though, going to end uprooted. And here comes some more damage. Is he going to get out with his life? Christian says no. Cabby on the run, and Christian picks up a double kill.
Not something you want to give away to a Senna here in the early game, but Senna and Zyra definitely had that inside track for this early game dominance. They're picking up so many souls and landing so much CC here. It's become very difficult for Recycle Bin and Cabby to just stay in this lane. Now, the game from Handholder helped out. Don't get me wrong. That definitely helped him out a little bit there. But as it goes, the trade is about to happen in the top lane. Here's Marios.
Yeah, Mario's going to look for something here on Razel with Charismatic helping out. Maybe we see some outgo fun here for a bit. Mario's helping out. Razel does not have level 6. No miracle play occurring yet, but able to still get the kill, and he's making the turn. Charismatic's got nothing on this fella. A double kill, and this is a quick 5-0 to start here, Axeman.
Yeah, that was a dirty play there from Renekton, and it was almost super big brain there from Marios. I mean, the flash running back into the bush and managing to stay out of the vision from Razel there for a little bit, but Razel, unfortunately, does not need vision of you to kill you with Q, and that is what he used here to get the kill onto the Kindred. After that, it was pretty much just a walk in the park to get Charismatic down as well. This Crocodile is going to be coming back into lane with a fully completed Bilgewater Cutlass and a dagger to boot. So very, very scary development here in the top lane as Renekton continues to get bigger and bigger. Mario's looking for the solo on the dragon. It's going to be aided by his team, but they can't help him too much or it would alert the enemy team on the Scuttle Shrine there. The Kindred should be able to complete this just fine, and they do. It is uncontested. The dragon stolen away there by Mario's. Well played.
And they have to be happy to finally get at least some kind of moral win, if not regular win, right? They're losing every trade right now. They're falling behind in every lane. You know, they need something to keep a grasp on this game before it gets away. And at least the dragon will help them along in the slides here. Handholder, though, 3 people going to start converging. Probably going to be able to get out of there. Mario stepping up, and he'll go over the wall as this is now a 2K gold lead for Stormwolves Lightning.
Yeah, Stormwolves starting to look real big here. And it's not all early game either. They have the Senna looking big, 201 there. Take a look at individual gold real quick. Yeah, 600 gold up onto the Caitlyn. That is going to be a very hard scale for the Senna. Caitlyn going to be lagging behind just a little bit. Now, it's not crazy or anything. I mean, this isn't like an insurmountable gold lead between two ADCs, especially since Cabby and Recycle Bin haven't received a gank yet from Kindred. So we don't really know if that's going to change the tide at all. And that's something we might see here in just a little as Marios looks to pick up this mark on the Scuttle. This will be their second mark of the game, so 2 more until that power spike at 4 marks. But they got their work cut out for them to be able to pick these up. Sugar Free and Christian, they're going to put a stop to all this.
Ooh, yeah, a little bit too late. Still able to get the Scott, pick up his soul off of it at minimum here. And so now this gets interesting for me, right? Because we've seen CoinFlippers play so well. We remarked just how strong their team play has been. And can they find their way out of a hole just by, you know, sitting back, scaling up, and letting things happen? We'll ultimately have to find out. Charismatic, cut out a little bit, though. Here comes Handholder into the fray. Procs the Predator, and Ryzel going to find his 4th kill of the game already on the top side with a little help from the jungle.
Yeah, and that's just textbook Renekton right there. The jungle definitely helped out, but if Handholder hadn't shown up there, I still think it's Charismatic going down. Renekton is all about taking these basically for the enemy laner unwinnable trades that sustain you through the lane as well. And last hitting minions plays directly into that. I mean, you get so much room to be able to make those trades, and eventually you get them so far away from safety and so low compared to your own health bar that it's nothing at all really to just all in them and get the solo kill. But yeah, he does give away the assist to Handholder there on the backside of the gank. And yeah, I mean, I've said it once, say it 1,000 times. Lightning are starting to look real scary. It's a 4-0 Renekton in the top lane, Paul.
Yeah, and as much as this is all looking up, you know, New England Stormwolves Lightning right now, you know, this game obviously far from over. So it's a 3K gold lead. We sit under 10 minutes. Obviously not where you want to be. Bright sides of the table here. Excuse me, as Ryzel going to look for another kill. Top side, here comes the stun up on the Dominus. Is Charismatic going to work his way out. Bright sides, like you said, Mario is going to be getting a power spike soon. Takes that Gromp, has a significant CS advantage. Obviously, Handholder contributing to assists, but you know, at least Mario is pulling something out. And it's not like this team doesn't scale, right? Orianna is going to scale. Caitlyn will scale. If you get Kindred ahead, you'll scale. And yeah, they're losing top lane, but it's far from over here. We still got ourselves a game on our hands. As Yoshi Miner under tower, Stevenator messes up the flash and going to be taken out. And just like that, they get their first kill on the board. But Ryzel, the angry crocodile, with his 5th kill and another one on the board.
Yeah, another solo kill, this time pushed back under Charismatic's tower.
Whoa.
And Donning Shadow gonna get a freebie there out of mid lane. Yoshi Miner, I don't know. I'm gonna use the term greedy back, but he was back under tower. So like,
probably, I guess he should have gotten out of vision at least. No, I think you're safe to say that. I think it was a little bit unfortunate at minimum. Just get out of dodge. Don't let them see where you're going. Great awareness by Christian there, honestly, knowing, hey, if I hit this, he's gone. So really clean play.
Yeah, and in fairness to Yoshi Miner as well, normally a Dawning Shadow won't do that to you at this stage of the game. This Senna is pretty far ahead. They have Manamune completed. They just had their enchanted footwear completed here as well. Oh, here we go.
Cabby going to get chunked out, but a turn potentially here for Recycle, been able to land a couple of shots, keep some pressure on them. They're going to keep things pushed in. We're seeing Mario's maybe beginning to path towards bot side. Going to try to help them out if he can here. Inferno Dragon is online as well as we see Stevenator enter the river. Here comes Mario himself flashing in, looking for something. Still not able to land any kills yet here. Did chunk down Sugar Free, steps under the tower here. He procs the ultimate here. Finds the first kill. Here comes the rest of the team though. Stevenator and Handholder are here and find a double kill. Stevenator looking for the triple here. On the recycle bin, finds it. And once again, everything is looking up Stormwolf's Lightning.
Yeah, and just like that, Lucian joins his wife at the top of the leaderboard there with the triple kill. Both,
Shockwave time reminding us this Oriana's got a little power.
Yeah, definitely. Yoshi Miner says, yeah, I could take freebies with my ult too. Walks up and just Shockwave Sugar Free just elites the Zyra there. It is going to be Dragon going over for Handholder and the New England Stormwolves Lightning. And that is their first objective of the game, I believe. I don't think a Rift Herald's been taken yet. So it's just one Dragon apiece. This is really echoing what we saw in game one so far. Biggest differences being this time Christian is ahead. This time Stevenator is on an AD carry. And this time Ryzel has no deaths. So very scary so far for the coin flippers. The prospects are not looking good. Charismatic with the all-in.
Oh, yeah, Charismatic going in. Not able to land the grass, though, so that's going to set back this gank. Ryzel has to dominate out, but gets out of there regardless, at least freeing lane up, so maybe Charismatic can pick up a plate or two. I'm not sure I'd want to challenge that Croc, though. And so, yeah, he'll just have to kind of play a little bit of dance here, try to get demolished, fighting under tower here. Marios comes back into the fray. Charismatic flashes out, takes one shot, doesn't die. Marios finds the kill here, but the ultimate from Christian going to land once again. Long distance and downtown taken down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Donnie Shadow should have been called. Yeah, we take those. Senna definitely takes those freebies from across the map. Gets another kill down for themselves. Christian with the damage on a cabbie, just pushing them off a little bit there. But yeah, no, that was just a crazy play up in the top side. I think it's still worth for Mario. So he gets a lot of shutdown gold off of Ryzel. Gets the Croc back into the Death Chamber, shuts down a little bit of their CS lead, which is approaching 40, by the way. Might have even cracked 40 just now, but or 50 even. I think I'm miscounting. But Handholder and Stevenator finish this Rift Herald. It's close.
You're going to be able to step up and just absolutely delete Cabby off the map. Here comes Teleport, though, from the top side. Here comes Charismatic Christian fighting under the tower, basically, with Recycle Bin. And going to get the better of that trade. Just so beefed up and built. Stevenator going to try to fight Marios. Might not go super well, but going to fight into the Kindred ultimate here. Has a chance, but the Shockwave finds another kill here. Ultimately does go onto... Excuse me, does go onto Marios, though. Yoshi Miner going to step up here to Christian. Gets out. And so the skirmish is now starting to go in favor in this slightest bit, at least the coin flippers, and maybe they can turn this thing around.
It is certainly a possibility. It'll be uphill for them, but we've seen them turn around a game before game one. They were behind in the early game, but not this behind, Paul. So then we'll see if they can come from this far behind. Keep in mind, they're also down in Olaf. They have this scaling jungler, the Kindred, which... while Kindred has had some success, that late game is a long time out, right? I mean, 15 minutes from now, if things can continue to go the way they've been going for the coin flippers, they won't make it to Kindred late game. So it kind of makes me wonder if this was a good pick for them. But, you know, at this point, they got games to lose. They have a win in this series, and the Lightning do not. So if it goes to game 3, that is just fine with the coin flippers. In fact, given the name, it's probably what they'd be looking for. Rift Herald here onto the mid lane.
Yeah, this is going to open the map up a whole lot more for them. That'll be their second tower of the game here. And, I mean, already we're seeing the power that they've poured into this, into Christian and into the Crocodile here. Ryzel, top side, paying dividends. It's just, you just can't step up and challenge them. And now that they're going to start roaming the map and playing together as the map opens up, the win conditions here for coin flippers just keep getting more and more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. So the light at the end of the tunnel for coin flippers is that a lot of those early game champions that the gold is stacked onto for Lightning will be falling off at some point. The issue, of course, being that there is so much gold stacked on those champions that point they fall off might be 50, 55 minutes. And at that point, it doesn't matter that they've fallen off. So this is kind of what the coin flippers are dealing with right now. But that fall off is coming. And they do eventually outscale at least some of the members of Lightning. At this point, Christian is so far ahead, I don't think they're getting outscaled by anybody, but Caitlin's got a pretty nasty late game. We'll see if they can make it happen. And Oriana definitely outscaling Lucian, as Lucian hasn't been too good. I mean, he's done well for sure, but he is 800 gold ahead of the Oriana, and pretty much everybody else in their class is like over 1,000 at this point. In fact, take a look at the top lane where the gold difference is over 4,000 now, Paul.
Wow. And I guess almost that to a point is a good thing, because like you said, Renekton eventually does fall off. The nominal word there is eventually. Can you get to eventually? Because that means aside from Renekton, that there's only a 1k difference in the other lanes. Despite the fact of how built up Christian is, we're still seeing some of the power on the Oriana, the power on the Kindred. Having that Wit's End built, just going to do so much damage and just rip through some of these players. And so you start to think, how can they play around that? How do you even challenge Rez? I mean, he's just free pushing right now, topside farming up. He's at 154 CS to 69 in his lane opponent. That's absurd.
Oh, yeah, no, it's insane. We said the gold difference between them is over 4,000. So those are the kind of numbers.
It's almost at 5,000 since the last time we mentioned it.
So it's growing as well. I mean, they leave the Renekton alone in the side lane almost out of necessity at this point, because there's nobody they can send to match this Renekton who wouldn't just die immediately. But yeah, I mean, you leave a champion in the side lane like that, let them push all the way into the inhib turret, and yeah, that's what happens. They just start stacking up CS and getting pretty insane. Renekton is going to take the reset, pick up a Black Cleaver, a total Black Cleaver, by the way. They did not have any component items before the back. An Executioner's Calling, and what looks to be the start of Merc Treads here, but tier 2 boots, not really a thing in their mind. If anything manages to outrun the Crocodile, it is definitely getting away, but not doing him any harm for sure. So boots not super important for him here. Yosha Miner, I think, takes the blue here. We're looking for the blue buff. Marios gives that one away. And Marios is...
Recyclement might be getting caught out here. Bot side, so Handholder did proc the Predator, and they're going to move in a hurry. 3 against 1 in the river. Taken down, and Christian with the 6th kill of the game.
Yeah, Christian's starting to get real big, right? This is the exception for Lightning, right? This is the champion that has gold stacked on top of them that will continue to scale. And Senna has some of the craziest scaling in the game for sure. Whether it's the strongest kind of, depends. It is an infinitely scaling champion. So that is something that they can look forward to. But most of that infinite scaling comes from the souls. And, having a great Senna game definitely gives you more souls, but you can only pick up souls so fast. Right now here at 18 minutes, they have 48 of those absolution stacks, those souls here. So they're getting 50 bonus range, 36 bonus attack damage, and 30% bonus critical strike. So that's a lot of pretty good stats there, Paul. Not going to lie to you. This champion is already scaled. This is like a 25, 30-minute Senna at 19 minutes.
Yeah, I think I could live with playing Christian Senna right now and having a little bit of power in my pocket here. Is they're going to set their eyes on the Rift Herald, pick up another objective here, and just keep looking at the Siege, right? I mean, out of necessity, you mentioned it, you can't challenge Ryzel. You just kind of have to play on your heels, hope that, that the Wolves Lightning get a little bit too aggressive, maybe make a mistake, you catch a pick, a 3-on-1, get the advantage of an objective fight, and then you can start to build something. But until or if they make a mistake, you're kind of just playing back like, well, we'll farm up and hope we get to eventually at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Getting to eventually is going to be the biggest thing for the coin flippers. What they do have working in their favor, though, and you'll recall the fight. Oh, this will be
Oh,
Mario.
Mario's going to look for a one-on-one here with Stevenator. Going to just keep chunking him down. And Caitlyn with the long-range bomb finds the kill. Christian going to smash the R button. Hope for a we take those, but not this time in a really nice setup play there.
Yeah, very well set up. The Dawning Shadow just a little bit longer to channel there than the ace in the hole. I have a feeling that's because Recycle Bin was ready and waiting for this one. But I had my doubts. I had my doubts, Paul. I was thinking, man, I don't know if you win these, but with ace in the hole and the back end, they're definitely able to win that quote-unquote 1v1.
That's the equivalent of bringing like a knife to a fist fight, right? You're like, oh yeah, 1-on-1 me, dude, and then gets the ace in the hole. Yeah, that's not fair. Yoshi Miner
Shockwave.
Yeah, really interesting. So Shockwave coming out, not able to finish him off there. Handholder, pretty, just as a general character. I mean, he doesn't have any MR build. He's just a beefy dude. Gets out of dodge there. But like we said, just finding these little picks when you can, just being a menace on the map. And Mario's might just be strong enough to pull that off.
Another update on stacks on various champions. Kindred has 7 marks now, which is giving them, oh goodness, 600. I think it's 600 bonus attack range. I'm going to double check now and see if that is correct.
That's insane. Dude, the attack ranges between Kindred and Senna on their scaling, like they're going to be, and Caitlyn, I guess, pretty much all of these major hyper carries now, they're just going to be hitting each other from across the rift. Like they're not even going to see what they're hitting here. But top side, right, Zhao sees what he's hitting, putting a world of hurt on the charismatic and to try to back off as we see some skirmishing on the bot side. Red Turk going to be taken down here. Here comes Shelly though, top side. They want that inhib and they want charismatic's life. Rizel gets the kill in base. Lulu going to be taken down here as well by Christian. They get the tower and they're going to set their eyes on inhib. Stevenator going to destroy Mario's. Ace in the hole doesn't find a kill, but Yoshi Miner does. Going to have to trade though with Christian. Here comes Stevenator with another kill. Looking at it, going to get rooted. My God, Recycle Bin gets the better of that exchange. And after all that though, Rizel going into base with the rift, and I think he's going to be able to take the Nexus with that.
I think he might have this one, Paul. Teleport comes in from Christian, who is at teleport this whole time, I guess. Recycle Bin. Oh, Polymorph.
Oh, he's going to fight Cabby going back into spawn. No, okay, so they'll have it, right? Zell going to be shut down there. Gold going to go over. Christian might have to get executed in base. Charismatic going to root her there. And just so what looked like a potential win here, now going to just end up being a really nice farming opportunity for coin flippers.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have a lot of minions streaming into the base, but man, the coin flippers are hanging by a thread now, Paul. There is not much stopping between them and a lightning victory now.
Oh, TP coming in. Oh, they're going to make a play on Dragon here, Axe. Yoshi Miner coming in. They see a 3-on-2. They're going to step up and try to force them off. Here comes Charismatic as well. They're ripping through this Dragon. That's 2 mountains, and that puts them at soul point here. We might still have, we go from, Nexus might die here to, hey, wait a second.
Yeah, wait a second. Hold on. The coin flippers might be making a comeback here in a little bit. Yeah, Maokai with the mountain soul. That'll definitely do it. But I'm going to need a couple more items on at least some of the members of the coin flippers before I have any real hope in the comeback here. It is a distinct possibility. We'll give them that. There's 6,000 gold lead between the two teams. That is not the biggest gold lead I have seen. That is not the biggest gold lead I have seen a comeback from. So we will definitely see how this game progresses here. A couple item spikes here coming for you. Storm Razor completed by Recycle Bin, giving them a little bit of power now. Unfortunately for them, it's 3 items for Christian, so they're definitely firmly behind the enemy AD carry. It's 2.5 items here for Lucian as they complete Essence Reaver.
Oh, Cabby. Cabby just gonna get, we call that blowed up, Axe, man. Uh-oh, maybe not. Handholder stepping up. They find the kill. Caster Curse calling it too early. They find the double. Here comes Mario stepping up into Sugar Free. Sugar Free doesn't have flash available. And Yoshi Miner going to just keep looking. Maybe find something there. Doesn't have Shockwave. They find a triple kill there effectively. They're charismatic now. All of a sudden, it's got Big Britches stepping up to Rizel. And Coin Flippers surprising us all against the odds.
Yeah, CoinFlippers had the inside track on Baron here. They actually started up, Paul. Wasn't expecting this. Ryzel is going to have to either try and teleport or just let them have it. I think he's going to let them have it.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually have. They should have enough to finish it. Kindred just has such high attack speed. Yeah, they're going to go to chunk this thing down. You see Handholder coming back from spawn. They know they have to get out of there really, really quickly. Yeah, they're going to get Baron, and they can't trade any objectives for it. Ryzel and Christian just don't have enough on the bot side. Charismatic's too beefy now. And so just like that, they go from, hey, let's take a look at Nexus to maybe that wasn't the play. They got too aggressive. This is shrunk to under 4K. They get the Baron. They get the Dragon on Soap Point. Don't call it a comeback yet, X-Man, but holy cow, we have a game.
Yeah, we certainly do. It all started with a skirmish that Cabby had no business surviving, but they did nonetheless with the Lamb's Respite and a number of other things, managing to keep them alive instead of getting picked. And yeah, they flipped that whole skirmish on its head, get a couple of kills down, they take the Baron. I have never seen anything quite like that. It's where one of your team members is getting picked, actively getting picked, and you just kind of, I guess, pick the enemy team instead. I'm still kind of reeling from what just happened. Lamb's Respite was used incredibly well there by Mario. So, I mean, Cabby really had no business surviving that fight. Like, they were so blown up. I mean, maybe the CoinFlippers still win, but Cabby definitely should have died. So it's pretty miraculous that they survived the fight. Yeah, Baron taken by CoinFlippers here. This is going to help them defend, if nothing else. I don't know if they're going to be able to push out of this. Ooh, it could be the fight here.
Ooh, yeah. Everyone's going to just kind of jostle for a bit. And that's the interesting thing, right? We briefly mentioned, it's like, okay, you take Inhib, but you don't get Nexus, so you're just giving free farm and then a chance to step up. And that's what they did. They got a whole lot of gold back off of that. Mario's looking to get a kill on a Handholder, has to use Lamb's Respite to survive. Time from Zion is going to give a little bit. Mario's going to get traded there. Now they're not going to have the damage to turn things quite around here. Grasp going to keep them all rooted through that jungle there, at least for a second. Here comes the Bud. And they'll have to live with a 1-for-1 here, as they'll be back in 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, something we haven't commented on too much is an interesting build here from Kindred. I don't hate the build or anything, but Wit's End first item for the Kindred. This is something we might see more so into an enemy AP jungler. So that in so much makes a little bit of sense. It didn't end up working out for them, as Gragas is probably the weakest champion on the enemy team right now, and literally the rest of the team do physical damage. But there are a lot of things about Wit's End, apart from the MR, that make it worth it. The healing, the intrinsic healing on Wit's End actually makes it a worthwhile option into any damage type. The MR is just kind of the cherry on top. It actually has more defense stats than things like Rage Blade, or even oh goodness, kind of blanking. Phantom Dancer. Stuff like that.
I think I like it more than Phantom Dancer. I think. Yeah, I cautiously say I think.
Yeah, as an on-hit item, it's definitely pretty good. It's definitely better than Phantom Dancer anyway. But Wit's End actually in solo queue has a 0.6% purchase rate. So essentially nobody is buying this item. All right, it's going to be another Mountain Dragon here. This is CoinFlippers. This is the soul for them. So this could be big. And both teams just kind of doing the dragon dance now. Teleport channeled here by Christian.
Yeah, teleport can speed up the pace of the music here as they dance around. I'm curious, as always, we've seen throughout this match the difference that Lamb's Respite has made in all of these fights here. So they're going to just parade around the back of the pit. They don't have vision here from the side. Oh, Ace in the hole, going to go into Sugar Free. They have to heal, and the heals from Christian going to come through in a big way. Yoshi Miner going to get popped up in the air. Shockwave, maybe used a little bit prematurely, doesn't land anything. Here comes Grass from the top downwards. Recycle Bin going to get saved by Redemption here. Steven Nader going to ult top side. Lance Respite coming out as well. Christian going to look for some kills down in the bottom side of this fight. They got split off, and it's just too much damage coming up from New England Stormwolves Lightning. Yoshi Miner just waiting out the inevitable. That's going to be an ace, a 5-0, and that's the strength they built up.
Yeah, and it's starting to look like Lightning are going to be answering back in this series, as those are some long death timers, 30-second death timers in some cases. and Ryzel and the rest of the Wolves aren't beating down the enemy base. It's just one Nexus tower between them and the Nexus folks, and we will be going to game 3.
Yeah, they just got split off in the fight. Maybe some premature ultimates. Not able to put the pieces together, but Storm Wolves Lightning certainly able to do so. Take it to game 3, and it doesn't get a whole lot better than that here, Axman. I mean, both teams have just had such good efforts in their individual wins. Who can bring the stuff for game 3?
You know, it's really anybody's game at this point. Obviously, both teams have taken a game in the series, and both teams have looked pretty solid in this series as well. So, definitely not any games given easily so far. That one was fairly dominant here from the Storm Wolves. I will definitely give them that. I would say that the CoinFlippers win was a little bit closer. This one was pretty insane. I mean, Ryzel was untouchable. Christian was untouchable as well. Even the mid laner Lucian there had a pretty good game. So yeah, this was pretty nuts from the Wolves. I'm gonna need something big from the CoinFlippers to really even it out.
Yeah, and we might see some bans that cancel out some of the stuff we've seen this time around. I'd hate to have, they'd hate to have to go into that again. But with that, we're going to go and prep for game number 3 here, get the teams ready in the lobby, and then we will be back with the deciding games draft in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Draft number 3 here, the deciding match between CoinFlippers and New England Storm Wolves Lightning. I'm Paul, joined by Axeman87 once again, and we're hot into the draft phase. And already they gave Ryzel Renekton again, dude. What are they thinking?
They absolutely did, Paul. What's up, guys? It's Axe87, and this is it, folks. This one is for all the marbles in this semifinals round anyway. But yeah, they gave Ryzel Renekton. Now it's kind of looking like Charismatic is giving us the salty run back here. First picking Maokai into the Renekton again. We're going to see how that goes for him. But Galio picked up for the CoinFlippers as well. And an exciting ban phase there. Mostly just the same champions taken away. I think Caitlyn is a notable exception. That is just banned now from CoinFlippers as they are decided that they don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, and so the weird thing, I would have just assumed you banned it away. Like, you just don't allow Renekton things to happen again, but they're content to take that one-on-one. They think they've got the advantage, and we're going to see some run back here. Excuse me, as well. Steven Ader going to go onto the Lucian once again. The pick, obviously, that's most intriguing because it's different from what we've seen, is that Galio, and how CoinFlippers are going to make it. You know, Galio obviously looking for an all-in. What character is he going to follow into battle? And that's really what I'm going to be looking out for the rest of this draft.
Yeah, we need a dive champion or a champion with lots of mobility. Somebody's able to get into the back line, and CoinFlippers are looking for such a champion now as they go for the last pick in the first pick phase, R3. It's going to be Olaf here, Paul. Not necessarily a dive champion per se, but in terms of backline access, I mean, you can't stop him. You can try and kill him, but you cannot stop him from getting to your backline. So this is definitely going to be a pick that is going to come out in spades for CoinFlippers. We saw Marios in game one use Olaf in just such a big way for his team. I mean, the Kindred pick in a lot of ways, despite having some success, was a huge disappointment. Couldn't really fill the shoes that the Olaf left, and it's good to see them make a triumphant return here. We'll see if the Olaf can make a difference for the CoinFlippers. It's sent an Akali banned away. Lightning won't be able to pick their last AD carry, and Ashe taken away by Lightning now. Makes me think maybe it's Lucian going in the bot lane, but we haven't seen everything yet. CoinFlippers with R4 in just a couple seconds. Then it's back to Lightning in the final pick of the draft, the counter pick for CoinFlippers. I'm excited to see what it is. You got any guesses, Paul?
Well, so that's the thing. So I'm looking at Lightning's bans. We saw this exact series of bans in game one. We saw it was Silas, Ahri, Veigar, Cho'Gath, and then they doubled up on tank. And obviously they're not going to do it that run because the top laner was already picked. I think the Cho'Gath ban is sort of interesting. Like, Lucian's, I guess, trying to dodge a mid lane Cho'Gath. So I don't know how much I love that ban. That's probably the one that stands out the most to me as maybe misplaced. Now we're starting to see the damage coming, because to your point, where's Lucian going, right? If he's going mid lane, who's ultimately going to be the ADC or the hyper carry, if not Lucian? If they go with the Graves, I'd like to see that, just because I think you can get so much fast farm. If Lucian stays mid, then you can have another carry bot side, and that would be a really aggressive team. They'll lack some tankiness to deal with the Jhin, though. So both drafts right now, to me, have a few holes, and these last picks are going to be telling. It's going to be I'm going to wait till it's done with the hover. I know better. I know better here. They're going to go with Syndra, and you could actually put Syndra technically in the bot lane. So I'm going to withhold until we're positive, but we can make our guesses that it's probably a mid laner.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably a mid laner. I mean, it's the nice thing about flex picks, though, is that you don't have to commit to them until 20 seconds before the spectator delay starts, before the game starts. So you can just decide last minute, hey, you know what? This is going to go in the bot lane because it's just getting a better matchup down there. Jhin can be picked up for the CoinFlippers. A little disappointed, but in fairness, there aren't a lot of marksmen left on the table. I think the next best marksman would probably just be Ezreal. And for whatever reason, neither of these teams seem to like Ezreal, so that's a no-go for them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, no Ezreal in this. No love for Ezreal or Yuumi. They were just like, that's good. No thanks, I don't want that.
Yeah, it is interesting. We were seeing bans for things like Veigar, Silas, Akali here, just a lot of obvious target bans, and then just a lot of the meta. So much of the meta is just completely left out of these drafts. I mean, we can go down the line, but you probably played most of those champions or against them in the solo queue, and you're probably thinking, hey, where are all these champions? Well, they're not here, folks. It's the likes of Jhin and I guess, Zyra here tonight. Yeah, I don't think there are any bad champions in this draft. It's just kind of a little interesting that we left the meta to the winds here, but we are about to find out where this Syndra is going. I think probably mid lane. I think you're probably right there, Paul. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, and so the thing for me with CoinFlippers comp, and we both touched on it. We saw the Galleon. We're like, let's see some dive, and they basically said, here's a little dive, and I just don't like it. So I saw a comp the other day, and it was like it was Galio Nocturne, and I believe they had it was Galio Nocturne, and they had another dive champ. And it was just insane. It was just stupid. Like everyone pressed R at the same time, and then you won the fight, right? And so yeah, maybe you get some all in with Olaf, but we've talked about it. If the Olaf doesn't get ahead, the fall off post level 6 isn't going to matter with the hero's entrance. And so I don't quite know where CoinFlippers utilizes Galio's ultimate. I mean, if you're looking for a shield, they could have just gone with like a Tom Kench or something even more tanky, or like a Nautilus or something, or a Thresh. Give Jhin, a front line, but also get more utility. And so I'm curious to see how they use it. Obviously both teams are here because they're great. They're in the Shurima group semifinals game 3 because they put on a damn good performance. But I think that's a hole in their lineup that, with a team of burst that Stormwolves Lightning are coming in with, can probably take advantage of.
Yeah, it absolutely can here, and a lot of things moving around, a lot of moving pieces in this draft so far. Syndra is going to be locked in the mid lane for Stevenator. That leaves Zyra and Lucian down in the bot lane for the Stormwolves, and Recycle Bin and Cabby will be picking up the GM and also the Galio, I believe, down there. The Galio in the support position. And I was kind of expecting this. Part of me assumed that the Lucian pick was to counter the Galio mid lane, but also as just like a flex pick that they could put down the bot lane if the Galio looked like he was going to be support. That's what ended up happening. I think that's where the basis for the Lucian pick came from. We'll see if Christian can use Lucian. Lucian isn't like a terribly hard champion, I don't think. He is more of a duelist style champion. He has a dash, so there is some mechanical things you need to have down to be able to play him, but he's not the worst. So we'll see if Christian is capable of playing this Lucian on its full potential, or if this is maybe a mistake of a flex pick. But some strange bot lanes for sure in this draft.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point to make. Not even just so much the player's ability, as especially in this elo, right? Like flex picks are really, really difficult. Like if you're just not prepared to play something, you can end up having a really hard time. Like if you weren't totally ready and they ask you, hey, we have to flex this out, can you do this? At this level, yeah, you're probably practicing a few times a week, but it could still be certainly challenging. And so that's a really good point to be made. I think for me, I already talked about my concerns with the Galio. Flipping scripts here to my promise with Stormwolves Lightning, they don't have a front line. So if any of these lanes fall behind, you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. Both sides, I think this early game matters so much because they can have so many different characters just pop off. But if Syndra just gets destroyed in lane and Orianna can just shockwave 3, she's just going to wipe them off the face of the map. And you're playing into a Jhin Olaf, so you can't build MR, you can't just build armor. And so compositionally, both teams have some issues, but I think they centralize around the fact of whoever gets that pre-6 lead could be poised for a really early win potentially.
Yeah, definitely. And that, to be honest, is a great reason why Stormwolves pick a comp like this. I mean, that's been their bread and butter in the series so far. Is the first 10 minutes of the game is that they've just gotten so far ahead in every game so far in the series. This comp makes a lot of sense given that lens. Like looking through that lens, if this comp gets ahead early, it's going to be unstoppable. Everybody's going to be doing just incredible amounts of damage. No amount of scaling, especially the scaling options that the CoinFlippers had, are going to be able to deal with these champions if they have a big enough lead. So I think this composition makes a lot of sense here. But if CoinFlippers can hold on, they definitely outscale a lot of members of the Storm Wolves. So that is something they could be looking forward to. And, worth noting as well, these champions aren't like weak early game champions. Jin has a pretty capable early game. In fact, I'd call him more of an all-arounder than a late game scaling champion. It's really just Oriana that has an early weak game, to be honest, at all. But so some interesting things here. But we are going to be moving to a little bit of a break as the spectator delay comes to a close. Don't touch that dial. This is the Style Esports League on the Style Esports channel. We'll be right back.
Game 3, everybody. Two of the best words in League of Legends for a best of 3. Welcome back. I'm Paul. He's Axeman87, and it all comes down to this in our semi-finals matchup between CoinFlippers and New England Storm Wolves Lightning.
Sudden death, winner takes all, knockdown, drag-out brawl between defending champions CoinFlippers and top of the group, New England Storm Wolves Lightning. What's up, guys? Axeman87. This is Game 3 of the semifinals in the Shurima group, and I cannot wait to get underway. It's the counter gank positioning here from the CoinFlippers on the top side of the map, and they are looking to catch somebody out walking in their jungle. They're not going to find anybody. It's just the 5-point from the Storm Wolves.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, we've got such an incredible match throughout the night, right? I mean, it's just been a back and forth. Last game, like, it was just such a dominant performance, and then at the end, it was like, oh, wait a second here. Maybe CoinFlipper's going to put it together, get things back online. Weren't quite able to do so. And really, coming into this Game 3, right, both teams have had time to figure out what the other's doing. That they obviously have played each other, too, throughout the season, and now it comes down to who can execute when it really matters. And we talked about, obviously, the compositions. These first 6 levels in these first 10 minutes, we think, and I think ultimately will decide how this game goes.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a game go past 30 minutes so far, Paul. If we can get somebody to double check that would be nice, but I don't think it's happened. It's been mostly early game all series long, which makes some of these picks super strange, right? I mean, the Jhin, the Orianna, the Syndra, but these picks have been so massive in the series so far, so it's difficult to say they shouldn't have picked them. Can be taking a lot of damage here as the taunt goes wide, not able to coax anybody into that range. Top lane, fireworks haven't started out yet as both the champions are still level 1. And our junglers here are in retrograde. Makes a lot of sense. This is what most junglers want to start off in the position for against Olaf. You just don't want to. Oh, here we go.
Ooh, coming in double with the beautiful double root here, paying off. Sugar Free going to be taken down, but probably not out. Here comes the return root here on the recycle bin. And we're seeing the versatility of maybe why Cabby opted onto the Galio. Just such a huge range. You pull off that double CC train, recycle bin's going to do hurting.
Yeah, making it look like it wasn't even a flex pick like this Galio was always going to be for Cabby. Stevenator with the stun.
Ooh.
Just a nice little trade there. Yeah, a good early trade from Syndra. You love to see it doing tons of damage. But yeah, both these junglers, well, really just Graves does not want to end their clear on the same side of the jungle as Olaf because that's a very dangerous position to be in. Olaf can kill just about anybody unless they're running away from him. So there are not too many good 1v1 matchups with this champion. So yeah, staying on the opposite side of the jungle is just good practice here, Paul.
Yeah, gonna hyper farm up, just get things going. It's funny, as much as we're like to this point, trading's always been top set for the most part. But here comes Handholder into the bot side. Cabby gonna get caught out, ticking down, and first blood gonna go onto the jungler here. Graves getting on the board.
Yeah, there we go, and they're off to the races with first blood down onto Cabby, who we had just praised moments ago for their aggression, but it just doesn't work the same when you're 2v3. That is a fantastic gang from Handholder there. I believe this is the first time we've seen Handholder on a more carry-style champion. Of course, they played Gragas in Game 2, but that carry play style that a Gragas might opt into just never really seemed to come to light, as he was always playing second fiddle to the Renekton. So this might be the first time we get to see Handholder try and carry a game, and I, for one, am excited to see what he's got for us.
Ooh, Rook in the land. Here comes Marios on the chase. Has red buff here. Going to miss the axe, but Ryzel has to burn the flash. Going to get out of there, but Marios now has an opportunity. And going to have a 5-minute timer knowing, hey, I can come back and bring some hell.
Yeah, definitely. And we might want to see Ryzel start to last hit those minions like he did in Game 2 and try to get the waves to crash into him from here on out. Because, yeah, that 5-minute timer is a lot of time. It's a long time to not be safe. Especially with an Olaf. Handholder
coming in the mid lane, trying to look for something under tower, doesn't get it. We see Marios rotating down, of course. Trading just continuing bot side. Recycle bin with the crit hit and the root. Here comes the taunt potential here. Sugar Free going to get bursted down. Christian's able to step up, though. The rapid fire passive picking up a couple more hits. Cabby in trouble here, taken down, and Christian finding their first kill.
Yeah, Christian finds the kill here where before they only had assists, and the CS lead is looking pretty good here too. I imagine individual gold is a couple hundred ahead of the Jin now, but there's no time to check. His handholder has started up the dragon. It's already halfway down, and he has to smite early as he is not very healthy here. Paul
He's
Christian's going to come.
He's not having a good time with that dragon.
He might still go down here.
Yeah, a little bit overzealous on that first dragon. They're going to get it barely. And I'm sure in the comms, they're having a good laugh over that. Or if not, a little frustration. Be like, oh, dude, I thought it was like, how close were you, dude? I thought you were. No, dude, I had it. What are you talking about? It goes like one of two ways in the chat, right? But able to get that first dragon here and a cushy 1.2K gold lead here out of the gate with that dragon. And again, New England Stormwolves Lightning coming out hot and fresh.
Definitely stun onto Yoshi Miner, but it's really just Stevenator showing them that they can still stun them whenever they want to here. And yeah, that really is the kind of timing you need to take an early objective off of an Olaf, is to just take the dragon on your first clear.
Sorry, I thought he got his ultimate there. I was wondering if he was going to look for something, but here comes a trade though in the mid lane. Stevenator catching out Yoshi Miner, going to take him down in quick order. Here comes the move, topside handholder stepping up. Grasp going to come out from Charismatic. Had hit level 6 in that last foray there with Ryzo. And another kill on the board, and they're just going to be content to keep picking off these lanes here. Handholder generating so much action.
Yeah, they certainly are. Handholder starting to really get things rolling in these lanes, but he's kind of falling behind in CS. And that is something a Graves can definitely deal with, but you got to take the camps at some point, right? I mean, you can have all the clear speed in the world, and if you don't go and farm, you're just not going to get the CS numbers you need. And it will be Handholder looking for some of those camps now, taking the blue buff at least. But up in the top lane, here we go.
Yeah, Cabby going to force out the flash bot side here from Sugar Free, so they're going to have to play scared for a little bit here. Mario's going to clear out some vision here. And just a really threatening bot side. Stevenator stepping up, lands the stun here. Yoshimar trying to trade back. Not quite able to just yet. Mario's now returning with the gig. Flash doesn't go anywhere. Sugar Free taken down. Excuse me, Mario's flashing for the kill. Able to get the team on the board.
Yeah, they finally get on the board here with the kill, and an assist goes over to Recycle Bin as well. So gold all over the bot side of the map, jungle there too. And that's good stuff. You like to stack gold onto your Olaf. Stun onto Yoshi Miner again here, Paul. It's just getting wild. Stun him on cooldown.
Yeah, pump damage. Absurd.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little ridiculous there with the Cinders sitting on just the tier and a couple of amplifying tomes. So, oh man, there's
here we go again.
Yeah, Yoshi Miner gonna have to run away. I don't know if Mario's wants this fight.
Oh, Mario's going to step up under the tower, unstoppable, but Sugar Free has made the roam up. Oh, the root almost lands, but Stevenator going to find the kill just in time. Stun lands at the tail and finds one orb. Yoshi Miner going to get out so low, probably under 10 health there. And Stevenator pushing that lead.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's going to be a pretty spooky Cinder here as we approach 9 minutes, not even 10 minutes here, folks. Charismatic looking to get the escape.
Oh, Ryzel gonna find the kill. He can't get the Q off to heal up. Charismatic landing it back. And a one-on-one trade. Once again, Charismatic somehow holding on against Ryzel and the Crocodile.
Yeah, it seems like both these top laners have really started to figure out how this matchup works, as this is the third time they've played it now. And just going super even. I mean, there is no... it doesn't seem like either of them are picking up that big an advantage. Renekton has some CS numbers, and that is giving him an item advantage. But, I mean, nobody holds a lane like Maokai does. So he's going to need a little bit more than that before he breaks open the tree and has any chance at really getting the uncontested solo kill without trading himself back anyway.
Stevenator going to have to go back as Mario's looking for something. I mean, Stevenator at this point already getting so powerful into Yoshi Miner. I mean, Yoshi Miner getting chunked down, a third to half health every time he steps up here. So that's something we're going to have to keep our eye on. We talked about it at the top here as we cross the 10-minute mark, how important those first 10 minutes are. As Mario's going to go Ragnarok here in the hand holder, uses the ultimate. He'll just go over the wall here. Stevenator stepping up, looking for the stun of some kind, putting in the damage. Only needs one more hit and lands it. That's a third kill of the game. Here comes the hero's entrance here, looking for the stun, trying to save Mario's. Recycle Bin going to go after a hand holder. Able to get the kill here. Sugar Free with the Zonya is going to get him out of trouble here. Christian looking for more kills. Double kill coming from the curtain call. Christian finding the kill, trying to turn the fight, try to get some value out of that. Trading continues top side as well here. And finally, some exchanges going in favor. Oh, we're still seeing trades bottom side, but some trades starting to go in favor now here of CoinFlippers, but they've got an uphill battle.
Yeah, they certainly do. We're starting to see some of that Jin scaling, but also just like the Jin burst damage on things like the fourth shot on the Q as well. I mentioned this isn't really a scaling champion per se.
Oh, no.
So low.
He has to flash away. Grasp not going to catch him, but that burst damage is going to be... Yeah, you keep eating those crits or that last curtain call, it's going to hoit soon.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't have great sustained damage, but man, it only takes... Oh, Cabby super low here.
He's going back in. He's going to get rooted down, looking for something, trying to help out Recycle Bin, do the damage with Stevenator coming down. You're going to put in the hurt. That's one. Second kill going to go over here to the Zyra here. Stepping up with the Ragnarok is Marios. Finds a double kill, looking for more. Sugar Free's caught out. Going to have to try to get back under tower here. Charismatic and Yoshi Miner coming up. Have a bunch of damage between them here. Charismatic maybe could leave a dive, but they don't have the wave necessarily. But here comes Shelly.
Yep, here's Shelly just walking unobstructed right up to the red turret. And this is going to give nobody gold but whoever dropped it. I think that might have been Handholder and Base or something. Did you see? So.
No, yeah. Both teams decided that they wanted this to be an ARAM. There's no laning anymore. I think they gave up on that X-Men. I think they decided we must have missed it in the client screen. They must have said, look, let's not lane at all and just fight for 15 straight minutes.
Yeah, we'll just keep fighting. Paul can cast it all. It's fine.
We'll ruin the play-by-play and let God sort it out. Look, whoever wins these back and forth, we'll just let the numbers decide.
If he dies, he dies. That's how it goes in Sal Esports with the play-by-play casters. Anyway, Dragon up in a long cooldown, 330. So that won't be up for very long, for a very long time now. Rizel just taking a lot of damage from Maokai in these trades now. And he's still got that CS lead, but things starting to dwindle. We might actually see Renekton fall off in one of these games soon. And that is going to be definitely a change in this series. We've seen Rizel be pretty much perfectly dominant on the champion. And all of a sudden, kind of the air taken out of their sails a little bit there.
Yeah, that's definitely not something we've seen. It's just like, right. Renekton is supposed to fall off. If we get late enough in the game, that does happen, or it's supposed to anyway here. Sugar Free stepping up, though, going to get caught in the taunt, then rooted here. That double train, so powerful. Recycle Bin here. Here comes the hero's entrance, though, trying to keep Recycle Bin alive, able to land the one kill, but Christian does so much damage and has the backup from Handholder, looking for a second, and they find it here. Another kill for Handholder.
Yep, another kill for the Grays comes down, and things looking fairly one-sided in the kill department, but in the gold, it's not as bad, just the 3K difference between the two teams. This is something we have absolutely seen CoinFlippers come back from. Rizel with the slice away from Olaf.
Ooh, Ragnarok proc going to go into Dominus here. Both of them unstoppable.
Hey.
And Mario's going to come out, but Stevenator rotating up. I don't believe Marios knows he's there. He's going to go into the bush, and he's going to get deleted off the map. Stevenator putting on a clinic on Syndra.
Yeah, Unleashed Power is something else. That's a lot of damage there onto the Olaf, but I think the Olaf might have been thinking, I do a lot of burst damage, but he had no idea. Stevenator up from the mid lane to kill the CoinFlippers jungler. He's going to be replaced summarily in the mid lane with Sugar Free, getting some of that sweet solo lane XP onto the support, I guess.
Yeah, a little. I think maybe he'll just holding lane potentially for a freeze. I didn't. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what was going on there. Here, as we see some rotations back bot side for Recycle Bin and Cabby. So trying to assess. So now that maybe we have a lull for more than 18 seconds here. It is just over a 3K gold lead here for the side of New England Stormwolves Lightning, and so even in Dragons, nobody's taking a turret yet. And while they're going to start up the Rift Herald here, we're going to see another fight. Who knew? Going to go right into Marios. Gets rooted, has to back out. Flashing coming in from Steven A. Christian lands the first kill. Ultimately here, they're going to look for Marios for another. Christian taken down, finds the shutdown. But Stevenator finds ostensibly a double kill here. And that might give them priority to get the Herald they wanted.
Yeah, it definitely could, and that'll help them break open the first structure of the game. Like you mentioned, no towers taken yet, despite that top tower being pretty low. So they're definitely going to need the help of that Rift Herald if they want to break those open. And Handholder is just completing the last of the Rift Herald now. It's looking like Charismatic might want to put a stop to this, but they're running out of time if they want to, and they don't have Smite, so it's easier said than done.
I thought he was just going to walk up and auto, and I was like, oh my god, is he really going to do that? But gets caught out a little bit there, stepped up too far. Like you said, no smite, no help, and running out of options. Does so much damage, surprisingly. But Stevenator going to land the 7th kill of the game here. Christian going to find another kill here. Now, Yoshi might receive the flash of the mastery. They know they're hot, and they know they're putting on a clinic here. Ragnarok stepping up, finding the kill, though. Shutdown comes from the curtain call as Ragnarok runs out, but Stevenator and crew starting to put the pieces together.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's coming up. Stormwolves at the moment, but it will be this Mountain Dragon anyway. Going down to the CoinFlippers is a notable exception to the rule so far in this game, which has just been Stormwolves take it all, baby, but it's going to be mid lane turret traded back as Shelly, or I think, what is the second Rift Herald, Carl?
We had a conversation about this the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, I can't remember what the second Rift Herald's name is. The Herald? I can't remember. It's something. I think
it was Shelly. I think it was like Shelly and Herald. If someone's in chat and knows what we're talking about, please tell us because that was such a good line. We blew it. Fire us, Jaro Carl. We let you down.
Absolutely, and please don't tell our production manager if we are just speaking nonsense. Anyway, it's going to be Stevenator in the bot lane, just taking that side lane. XP Recycle Bins here to put a stop to it, but ooh, a rare miss on the stun.
Oh, it still deletes him off the map. Stevenator says, tower, don't care. That's kill number 8 here, and that gold advantage here, Axeman nearly doubled in the middle, but here comes Ragnarok stepping up. Mario's finding the kill, maybe looking for, nope, excuse me, Sugar Free says, I don't want a piece of that action, and Mario, so sort of the only bright spot here from this side of CoinFlippers.
Yeah, much like Renekton has been in the rest of this series, Olaf is, having a good early game for sure, but he's one of those champions that is going to fall off eventually. He does have Conqueror, which is going to help him out a little bit as far as just staying relevant in this game goes. But, that early game burst damage only counts for so much as these health bars start to expand. And things like lethality start coming online for Handholder. The scaling starts coming out of Stevenator as well. We saw the burst damage there under Recycle Bin. It's only downhill for Recycle Bin, right? That Cinder damage is only going up from here on out. So, the clock is definitely ticking on the Olaf. They need to find another source of carry potential, and I feel like that's going to be a Recycle Bin. 335, the score line on the Jhin. He's doing just fine. I don't think he's ahead of Lucian, but he's doing just fine. Actually, he is ahead of Lucian. I tell a lie. He's 800 gold ahead of Lucian, actually, so doing pretty good. Got 2 items here. Got the Storm Razor, got the IE in the right order as well. Hopefully, we can pick up Swifties soon, and then we'll have a bit of a Jhin on our hands here, Paul.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see, going back to the Syndra itemization, I want to see, because Syndra obviously has Oblivion Orb, so it could go into that Morel, or it could opt just to get another outrageously large rod and get that cap built up. So some options here at Stevenator's disposal. So I do want to see where that goes. I think it depends how this next fight goes. If they get enough gold, might as well just pile on the damage. But you know, if things are getting a little out of hand here as far as healing, maybe you just opt into that morale. Mario's going to get stunned up there, double buff.
Yeah, definitely. And bot lane turret is going to go down. Unfortunately for the coin flippers, Rizel has been taking some turrets of his own. He picks up a second one in the top lane, kind of staying the course of the rest of the series. Rizel has a long and storied history of taking the entire top lane so far tonight, and he has done this several times. But Charismatic looking to at least maybe poke Rizel down a little bit, something. I don't know, Paul. Some kind of progress.
Yeah, trying to look for anything here. Oh, Steven Hader just hits him like a truck from the side here. Mario's going to be in the river here. Handholder going to move on to him as well. Rizel, meanwhile, topside, Charismatic and Recycle Bin going to look for something, not able to land any CC, and he'll get away. But the name of the game here is Steven Hader, and they're just going to keep rolling behind that, hopping on that bandwagon.
Yep, this is Mario's on to Steven Hader. Ragnarok!
Oh, Mario's coming in. It was a flash away here. Now that Ragnarok's gone, they can put some pressure and take down this turret here. Dragon spawns in 55 seconds, so they can ward up, back off here. Syndra now backing with 2,300 gold. So if you thought she hurt before, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we haven't even seen the death cap started up yet. I guess... Is that what they're looking to complete here? Yeah, they complete the...
Oh, my God.
Yikes. Okay. All right. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage. I think maybe you complete the Morella now, though there's not... I guess there's some healing. I mean, you have the Olaf, you have the Maokai. So that is something you could look for to mitigate some of that healing. But at this point, Syndra just... very unstoppable. This needs to definitely be a target that coin flippers are looking to focus down these team fights, because that is just way too much damage to be left alive. So the problem with target access, I guess, when we're talking about the Storm Wolves, is that they have so many weapons, Paul. It's a Dragon Dance here. Should be the fight. Teleport channel.
Yeah, it was a 5v4, but now with Rizel a 5v5. They haven't found their way into the pit yet. This would be Dragon number 3 here from the side of Coin Flippers. Curtain Call going to come out, try to fend them off. Handholder goes into the pit, realizes no backup has quite arrived just yet. They're not going to take the Dragon. Now they steal it away. That's a double kill, or a kill onto the Dragon here. Now kills are coming in aplenty here. Rizel finding a kill along the way with Christian here, trying to make a turn of it, but Mario's deleted off the map. That's a triple kill here from Christian. He sure knows how to rock that Lucian, and they're putting this one away.
Yep, Yoshimine are doing a little bit of damage to Steven Hader in their own right. This is still an Orianna, but oh my God. Avert your eyes. You don't. Oh, that was horrific, but just unbelievable damage. There are children watching Steven Hader, my goodness. But, you know, it's bad when you don't even see the health bar go down. It just kind of disappears. Yeah, that's
you'd have to convince me there was a health bar there, dude. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
It was just like,
it was
man,
the whole time. This Baron is going down incredibly fast for a 23-minute Baron, and a lot of that is just down to, like I said, how many weapons Storm Wolves had. I mean, there's nobody on this team that isn't a competent source of damage to the Storm Wolves. Not even like Zyra is all that lackluster in the damage department. They got the Leandry's Torment down. It looks like they're also building into a Zanya's Hourglass. They got the Merc, or the Sword Shoes, excuse me. So yeah, everybody's just doing so much damage, and that's what's causing the Baron to go down so fast here. But Yoshimine are looking to get a little bit of a push going in the mid lane. If anything, maybe just clear this wave and crash one into that mid lane turret. But that is about it as Christian picks up red. Maokai looking for the reset, only had a little bit of gold in hand, so no real big updates on the Maokai build so far.
Here's a disgusting stat, just to put this in perspective for everybody. So Yoshimine right now has 153 AP on Yoshimine. Steven Hader, on the other hand, has 558.
Sounds about right.
It sure looks like it. Let me tell you that. It sure looks like here. Curtain Call coming out. Steven Hader push up too far. They get the shutdown. not a whole ton ago, but a shutdown nonetheless. Now they're trying to turn the fight here. Charismatic in the back line, trying to put down Handholder, but can't finish the job here. Here comes Rizzo joining the fray. Does have the dominance available, and here it comes. Finds one. Looking for a second here after the Zanya's Recycle Bin. Going to try to run away. Kite it out if he can. Handholder and Christian joining the fun once again here. Rise out, stepping up. Dominance is still rolling right along here. Charismatic has an opportunity to get out, and the three of them will continue to siege tower here back off, and they have to be happy getting away, only losing 2.
Yeah, I would say so. A couple of those scaling options for the coin flippers are starting to look a little scary. Jin's hitting pretty hard out here, Paul. That Kershey shard give him a little bit more of the good burst there, but he's had Storm Razor and IE for quite a while now. It's just been difficult for him to get a good source of cash flow going here. The Baron buff is going to be auto pushing into the bot lane turret, but all that is going to get shut down with Marios and Charismatic as they run down the bot lane. Mario's got to be careful with this one. There's a lot of enemy champions down there.
You don't necessarily want to chase at this point in the game, right? You're playing into a 10K goal deficit, towers 5-1 here. And, you know, there's only so much we can say, obviously, about how dominant it's been at this point. So let's flip. Oh, Stevenator stepping up and just deleting Recycle Bin off the map. Once again, the health bar just gone there. And what a kill, seeking him out in the jungle.
Yikes, Ragnarok popped here. Looking for the kill on Christian, but that's just too much damage.
Finds at least able to trade kills here. Cabby lands a double taunt. Sugar Free and Stevenator are going to step up, but we know how this script goes here, folks. Stevenator looking, but gets the charge away here. And I was going to say, Coin Flipper had to look for a way to play through Recycle Bin, but just if you're going to just counter him every time with Stevenator, that's just not going to happen here. Charismatic again. Below half, grasps out of there, and they'll have to wait for reinforcements as Baron buff has finally come down.
Yeah, a little bit of a respite here for the coin flippers as they don't have to contend with those Baron empowered minions anymore, but it is a short respite and not a very satisfying one as the Storm Wolves continue to squeeze out coin flippers in various lanes around the map. It's looking like Rizel is starting to push in this bot lane, crashing a massive wave in there, cannon wave as well. And somebody's going to have to stop this. Marios is in the area, but somebody's got to look at this dragon too. This is going to be soul point here for the Storm Wolves.
Yeah, that puts them at soul point.
Yeah.
And they just, I mean, it's so hard to step up to delete or do anything, right? They're just deleting everybody away. Cabby going to get caught out and taken down here. There goes another frontliner too here for Recycle Bin, who really has gotten pretty powerful, right? But just haven't found the tools to be able to hold up and just sustain long enough to put out that sort of slow damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunate to lose your support in the late game. They're only trying to get the vision, folks. Let them live, won't you? But yeah, Cabby is going to be put on cooldown here as he did use Gargoyle's Stone Plate to try and get a little bit more survivability. If you're wondering why the health bar was suddenly so large for him, that cooldown should be coming back up as he walks back into lane here. Rizel and Marios going down the bot lane. I don't know if Marios wins this one anymore.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup at the very least. He's gonna have to just skill check his way through it here. Sugar Free gonna land a root. We see Stevenator and Christian just still hovering in the mid lane, keeping pressure there, and we're gonna see a bit of a reset. I know it's not. Stevenator is backing with 2,600 gold. It's gonna finish off just straight up by the Void Staff there.
That's a
and
lot.
Get a blasting. Yeah, that's a whole lot of action happening there for Stevenator. And so now Baron is coming online here, and they obviously can just delete it away. But if there's a path to victory for Coin Flippers, it has to start with this Baron pit.
It definitely does. Rizel looking for the reset as well as teleporting from base. So here we go.
Oh, Sugar Free's going to be chucked down right away. Recycleman finally finds the kill here. Hero's entrance comes out from Cabby. He gets back at least for now. Rizal going to teleport in, has the speed boost from home base, trying to look for something, and they push them back into base. So now the ball is in New England Stormwolves Lightning's court. Do they just continue to siege? They can play for a pick and turn a Baron, and they have their options. Stevenator hanging out in the jungle, just waiting for somebody to inadvertently step up too far. Can't land the combo there.
Yeah, misses the stun. Actually pushes Charismatic out of the way of the stun with Scout of the Week, but actually lands the stun to Cabby, but not the best target there. And yeah, losing a member there, losing Sugar Free really kind of puts a stop on anything New England we're gonna attempt there. And maybe that's playing a little bit more safe than they need to, but Stevenator might be in trouble here as Cabby looks to pick them out. Now it's Rizal who's out of position.
Yeah, Rizal kind of getting caught in a 5v1, going to proc the dominance here, but here comes the rest of the team. They have to be careful. They could potentially just line up for a Scatter of the Week or an Unleashed Power. They're going to back off, probably rightfully so here, and you're right, they're not really playing with their lead. They're kind of playing more passively now. Sugar Free going to be taken down as well. Now it's a 5v3, but they're still going to look for it anyway. Stevenator finds a kill. Yoshi Miner being chunked down. We see Recycleman get a kill. At least Christian and Stevenator both do so much. Dude. But is it enough? Christian steps up. Not enough. Double kill.
Oh, I can't believe that, Paul. The CoinFlippers just totally outplayed that. I mean, they're like 9K gold behind. How did they win that fight?
Just beautifully textbook played, right? Like, I'm like, okay, they're gonna step up and just eat Stevenator to the face. They play it slow, they play it smart, and they finally unlocked Recycleman. They gave him a chance to just do his thing, chunk people down, and little by little, they're able to put it away. They can't quite go to Baron, it's just too slow. But if they're gonna put together a comeback, that's certainly the start of that script.
Definitely, the 9K gold lead shrinks to just a 6 or 7K gold lead, excuse me. And yeah, that is quite the amount of progress there. Dragon up in 30 seconds. Wondering if we see Baron traded for a Dragon here. I think that would be the play for me if I was the Stormwolves. But it looks like they're going to make the play for Dragon Soul here. As the Dragon spawns in 20 seconds, CoinFlippers are looking to make their way to the Dragon Pit, but they're going to have to get through Handholder.
Right, exactly here. And now we're seeing here, Dragon's going to be up shortly here, as is Baron. And so now, the team that's in the lead, Stormwolves, have the opportunity to sort of force the fight on their terms. They can play around, all right, if we want Dragon, we'll play here. If we don't, we'll bait you into a fight and then just move to Baron and force you to walk into us again. Something that you just really don't want to walk into, if you're letting Stevenator get set up there with the spheres, obviously. And so we'll see ultimately how they jostle for position, and they're gonna get the first hit here for CoinFlippers under the Dragon.
Yep, and the CoinFlippers are burning down this Dragon, but here's a fight.
Oh, coming in, Dominus coming out from Rizal. They're able to take the Dragon though, but at what cost? We shall see. Handholder stepping up. Stevenator has been able to land the kill. Hero's entrance going to provide them a shield and kind of just able to sneak that one away under the radar, but they can turn onto the Baron here if they're just going to reset, and that might be even worse.
Yeah, and using the Hero's entrance as a disengage tool here made a lot of sense. They got the Dragon, right? I mean, there's no reason to fight a team you're like 6K gold below for no reason. So they are going to take the disengage and back, but that Baron is going down God. Fast.
Curtain Call going to try to contest it. Is he able to pull it off? He's not so close. They're able to shield it away, though, but are they going to be able to win the fight? Stevenator's taken down. They don't have their hyper carry anymore. Mario's turns on to Sugar Free. This is a 5-on-3. Baron's not going to matter when you're already down your strongest damage dealer. Handholder going to try to take down Mario's at least able to do so. The tanks start walking in. Recycleman hasn't been touched yet, though. Going to chunk away, and they'll get Baron, but they'll only walk away with 2. And somehow, some way, CoinFlippers are trying to turn it around.
Yeah, it seems like everywhere the coin flippers go, they leave a trail of dead storm wolves in their wake, and they are just on an absolute warpath. I think the storm wolves are lucky they even got Baron there at all. I think a couple more seconds, and probably would have lost that to the coin flippers too. Now it's the coin flippers pushing down the top lane. Keep it in mind, folks. This is a team that's supposed to be losing right now, and they're taking inner turrets, maybe looking for inhib turret.
Yeah, this is not a game that they should be in, if we're being honest. 10K, you're up that significantly, and you kind of just let this team get back into it. And credit here to Coin Flippers. They're able to work around Recycle Bin, buy him time, utilize Charismatics, tanking this along with Cabbies, and just keep setting them up to drop some Qs and drop some crits.
Yeah, and that's all it takes at the end is that burst damage from Jin to really make the difference in the team fights. We're seeing adaptive helms come through from Charismatic. Adaptive helm on Marios as well to protect themselves a little bit from Stevenator, and it makes sense. I mean, there's really only one source of magic damage, so this item is going to be blocking a lot of that damage, or at least helping with it anyway. So I like the pickup there. Yeah, and the itemization here from Recycle Bin is spot on. This is everything they need: the RFC, the PD, the Infinity Edge. This is everything you need as a Jin. He really only has left to upgrade the X-Cal, and you don't even really need that, Paul. But this is going to be what could be the final push from the New England Stormwolves. But what I think might be the beginning of the end here for the Stormwolves here, as the coin flippers just look so dominant.
Yeah, we're going to see here. They have Baron buff set up in both lanes, which is really smart. They only have 2 people left, so just put one in each of the lanes you're looking to siege. So Stormwolves able to just put pressure, and that's what you can look for. Charismatic, they're going to go on to Ryzel here. Has Recycle Bin, though, just chunking down. They're not going to do much in the other lane here. Jumps on his Recycle Bin, has to flash away. Lands the root from a mile away, and here comes the curtain call. Just going to have to tell the rest of his team, hey, please guard me. And the person that gets chunked out is Christian for it, has to pay. And so now they're on the run here, short both of their carries. And once again, Coin Flippers turning things around. Gonna take down Handholder here. They're gonna look for Sugar Free next. Cabby's on the run. And Airborne, once again, Zonya's delays the inevitable. And what started as Ryzel getting caught out results in everyone else dying, and Ryzel is just running for his life.
Yeah, he definitely is. Cabby might even catch him here. No, the slice is going to carry the Renekton to safety. And yeah, the name of the game at this point is, hey, Paul, it's 37.5 minutes into this game, and the coin flippers just outscaled the Stormwolves. Stormwolves took too long to end. They got close. They took an inhib. They actually, no, they never took any part of the base, but they took all the rest of the structures on the map. They got to Soul Point as far as dragons are concerned, but they just couldn't convert the game. And at this point, I don't see a path to victory for them. They can't play front to back like the coin flippers are playing. They don't have a front line. We talked about that. They don't have scaling options except for Stevenator either, or at least ones that they can take advantage of anymore. And as we've seen, the coin flippers, all they have to do is delete Stevenator at the start of the fight or zone them out, and they just win every fight, any fight they've taken so far.
Yeah, and that was the concern coming into this game, is they just had carries but not a front line here. And they just weren't able to put the piece together. They took their foot off the pedal for just a moment, and that's all Coin Flippers needed here. Oh, no, Taunt coming in. Going to land on a Ryzel here. Christian going to try to play the role of Recycle Bin. Yoshiminer, they're going to find the first kill here. Stevenator going to try to put together something, but that damage difference isn't just what it was before. Marios finds the kill on the Ryzel. Stevenator trying to back off, but Charismatic not having it. Recycle Bin finds the kill. Yoshiminer with another. Recycle Bin with the double. They're going to get Soul here, and all of us. And once again, Coin Flippers, this is now a 2K deficit, and they look unstoppable now, Axeman.
Yeah, after like a 7K comeback, they're not even moving towards this Baron here. They're going for the base. They're walking in, and they have the Mountain Soul.
Time.
Yeah, they got tons of time on their hands, right? They're going to be taking at least this inhib. We'll see if they get a Nexus turret here in just a little bit, but that Mountain Soul shield is protecting them from the turret damage. They could end, Paul,
Yeah, what was a 10K gold lead here in the semifinals. It looked like it was all but over, but they flipped the switch, and CoinFlippers going to walk away with the win.
We talked about before this series started, there's something the coin flippers turn on inside themselves that they just start winning in the playoffs. And we saw that here tonight. I don't know what it is, Paul. I don't know if we ever will, but that was absolutely fantastic from the coin flippers.
Yeah, and so it was just the one, the perseverance, and two, I want to credit them because they played that comp, and you mentioned it at the end so smartly. They said, we're front to back, they can't play like us, let's force them into these fights that they can't take. It unfriggin' believable. They say we're really gonna outscale them this way, and just blowing everything out of the water here, Axeman. And I mean, it wasn't crazy even to think like, okay, 10K, they're going to put them away here. But there was a point, and you even said, you're like, wait a second, why aren't they playing this more aggressive? They have the lead, they didn't, and ultimately, for the side of New England Stormwolves Lightning, that's what cost them.
Yeah, definitely. I think a couple times there was maybe a little bit too much regard sent toward things like getting dragons and stuff like that. Because the reality is that you're an early game comp. You have a Lucian, you have a Renekton. Going for things like Dragon Soul is not what you should be trying to go for. Those are nice snowballing tools, but at the end of the day, if the enemy team has 2 dragons, you can't rely on your snowball. That's just how it goes. You don't have enough time, and eventually the Stormwolves found themselves at 35 minutes. The Renekton wasn't doing anything, the Lucian wasn't doing anything, and Cinder was just getting deleted at the start of fights, and the game and the series was basically over.
Yeah, and so with that, once again, our 2-time defending champs, CoinFlippers, is going to be moving on as the number 4 seed. They defeat the number 1 seed in this best of 3 for the semifinals, so they will be moving on to the next match. As we start to sign off here, just a couple reminders: you can continue to watch for action here at Style Esports throughout the rest of the week. We'll be having best of 5s this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, that you will not want to miss. You can be checking all of these updates. Will be in our Discord server. So below, if you are on desktop or on a computer, scroll down to the bottom in the panels. You can join the Discord server there. If you are watching on mobile, go to your info, go to the panels there, and you can find a link to the Discord server where we will continue to have the schedule. But again, finals coming up the next 5 days, and then we will be doing the relegations after that. And just closing, if anyone wants to find or follow me at PauliC on Twitter, PAWLIEC. And as my debut here with Style Esports, this was an absolute friggin' pleasure. And Axeman, where can we find you, man? And it was so awesome to be back in the booth with you, dude.
Absolutely. So primarily you can find me at the Discord. The link to that is under the stream. I think Paul pointed that out already, but you can also find me on Twitter at Axeman871. And yeah, I wanted to thank Paul for doing this here tonight. He's a fantastic caster, and we don't normally have casters of this caliber on the broadcast, and it made all the difference. Things got pretty crazy here tonight, so we definitely appreciate you coming out and helping us, Paul. Thank you for coming on the broadcast.
Oh, absolutely. And shout out to everyone who tuned in. We hit some crazy numbers tonight. I believe potentially some season highs. So we really hope you enjoyed it. Shout out also in the background to our producer, Tori, an absolute monster of a producer. She picked me up when I was down the last few days to get the best out of me tonight. So thank you, Tori, for that. Jaro Carl behind the scenes, and everybody else who helps get these things wrangled up and put together. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time. Good night.